As always, I'm joined by a fellow cranky duckling. As always, I'm joined by the one, the only, the Koopa. Hello, Koopa. Hello. Beautiful. You look very Kugane.
No. Yeah, sure. Let's say Kugane.
Huh.
Hey, I actually like this outfit, so I glamoured it.
Ah. Yeah. Can you glamour that onto, like, fighting gear or no?
You can glamour it on anything because they removed all restrictions on glamour.
Yeah. There you go.
But I do have it on my crafters. But this is actually
Yes.
a gathering outfit.
That's okay. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Top, I mean, specifically.
But but we were live yesterday, just covering Eureka, of course. We were live with Eureka yesterday. Now we're here with some MSQ as a brief reminder as to where we are in the main story quest line. We were in the Enclave. We were in the Enclave. We were kind of building it up. If you recall, the big scene was that Azula, as to be expected, got her memory back.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it was really annoying because for some reason they kept alluding to it, but the main character, specifically Hien,
Yeah, it's like the story
did
kept
nothing about
alluding to it, but the characters seem completely oblivious.
no, the story kept alluding to it, and characters kept commenting on it as well. Right?
Yeah, but like they didn't
there were
do anything.
no,
about it.
there were characters that would comment on it, but it was Hien who wouldn't.
Okay.
Hien, like they just chose not to do anything with that character. Like he wasn't really saying anything about it, which is really weird that some characters were like,
Aware.
speaking on it, and others weren't. So it was just very It was,
Do you remember how she like escaped 3 times before it happens?
well, that's the thing, right? Just because of how the story is told, I think we already spoke about it, but it just speaks on like the ineptitude of Hien and on the Domins to allow that to happen, because it shouldn't be happening. Like it just none of it makes any sense, like story wise. Like there are better ways to write it, better ways to try to come about at this. The fact that she just keeps escaping randomly, and the fact that like they didn't do anything about her getting her memories back, and they didn't have any kind of safety precautions or anything. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You can still have like this. You can still have the same outcome. All you have to do is like, hey, like we set, because of what's been happening, we set guards on her on her room, and then have her kill them.
Yeah,
like just have her like kill the guards and
She's
get it. Like that's
capable
what
of
you that's what you got. Exactly. Like so that's what you have to do. Is that you can even have her like be like, oh I'm gonna go and I have to go to the bathroom or something, and then and like act innocent and just like fucking stab them in the neck or something. Like you can still have the same outcome, just write it in a different way that makes it seem like they were at least they were trying to do something to contain her in case something went wrong.
An attempt
but they
was
didn't do
made.
anything. Yeah, and they didn't do anything with it. So it's just poor storytelling, unfortunately. But she got away. Apparently, randomly her parents were there. Like they didn't explain that her parents would be staying in Doma. They had like a brief like back and forth dialogue, making it sound like they got banished there. Like they were like
I wouldn't say
banished
banished,
from the
more like the
Empire.
Empire sent them there. Like I don't know if banished is the right word, because it's not like they
no.
they were in poor standing and like as punishment they were
No,
sent.
that-
no, they were sent
That,
for a
no,
reason.
that's what they said. No, that's what they said. They said that because of her poor performance as the vice like leader elect in the area, yeah, because she did poorly, then they lost, and that's why they were upset at her. Like they were upset at her because she messed up,
I thought
and
they were
because
just
of that,
bait.
their lives were no, because she messed up in her leadership role. Like they were in poorer standing with the Empire, and they were upset that they were there because they're like now we did like.
Yeah, obviously.
Now our quality of life has been reduced because of you, and they were blaming her.
Yeah, but
if you remember, they were doing this before they realized that she had got her memory back.
Yeah, but I thought that was just like that she was just that the pirates were just planted there as bait, like for strategic reasons, and not because like they themselves like lost the standing.
No, they themselves lost the standing.
Okay.
That's why they were upset with her. And they specifically were referencing her poor performance.
Let me rephrase that. That doesn't negate them being upset, but more that like that's what they were told, but the reality was that they didn't actually lose the standing, but because that was the strategy they got sent there. Is my point. Not that they think otherwise, but like that
and
there was
I'm
a
saying
different
that's
goal.
wrong. Like they were sent there because like they lost their standing like in the greater empire, because she did such a poor job like handling like the Domin situation. But the problem is that was all explained after they were revealed to be there. There was no lead up to us having any understanding that they would be there to begin with, which is kind of weird. That they would just be
no
walking
one like
around the
informed
enclave.
anyone that they would be staying either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it was an inserted thing, right? It was inserted. There was no explanation leading up to that to kind of set that up. Unfortunately, but yeah, so they were just randomly there. She killed them. Her younger brother showed up, and they are doing something. We don't really know what. I think we spoke about it. We spoke about how it seems like maybe like he's like kind of like being a little bit of a pulling the strings, like being a puppet master and kind of like leading her to do something, but we don't really know what. We don't really know what the plan is right now and what they want to do. Yeah. She seems fairly aware, but at the same time, like she doesn't come off as like very smart or very like intellectual or very like intellectual like person. So we're talking about how like it would have been. It feels like he's using her, and she's even letting him use her. So
that's what I would
we're
say.
Trying to like understand.
Right now, it looks like she's letting him use her. That like she's fully aware of what's happening. She's just letting him do it.
Yeah, and we were talking about how. I guess we'll see what happens between the two of them. We don't really know what the plan is exactly. All right, that's what I was saying. We were saying that we didn't really know what their relationship was like. We were just trying to piece it together based on their interactions, just because that relationship was never really fully expanded upon. So we didn't really know if they're friendly with each other, if they care about each other, if they don't, like if they hate each other or what.
Yeah, because I thought
we don't really know exactly.
I thought that because like she was sold and he was like in the academy, that basically they haven't seen each other since they were kids, but they were both working for Guardians, so it feels like there's a high chance they have interacted while working with the Guardians.
Yeah, like we don't know what their relationship is really like. Yeah. But yeah, so that's happening. We're here for a reason. I think we want to use their canoes. What happened? Why do we want to use the canoes?
Canoes for something.
Yeah, there's something happening. We need. Oh right, I think it might be related to the Red Cochin. Maybe that we're gonna use their canoes. Maybe I don't.
I was gonna read, but there's literally no context in the quest.
What he needs seems keen to take stock of the situation. Okay, we're taking stock. All right. Tansui, sweet the Tansui. In my mind, Yotsuyu is deserving of only one fate. Memory loss be damned. True. See, this guy knows what's up.
He's a pirate.
And if you don't have the stones for it, we would be happy to take on the burden. It'll be over nice and swift. So look at this guy. See? Jesus. Gosetsu be damned.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, Rasha. Now there's a face I did not expect to see. What brings a noble lord of Doma into a company of bilge rats such as we? If you come to offer Doman chains in place of Gallian ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted a trip. And what fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. Oh, alright, is it? No, not quite. I remember something that was happening was that we were working with the company to help transport goods back and forth. If you remember with the Dominant Clay. But I don't think that's what this is about.
I think it may be.
I feel like there are more important things happening right now.
There are, but they don't.
Like Zola escaped. Okay, well let's go and let's talk some trade. Let's talk some trade regulations between ourselves and the Grand Company, or the Pirate Company, because we need to figure out the export of sushi. It's like okay, yes. We need some sparkling tuna to come in.
Ah, the tuna.
Yes, yes. What fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more.
Hey, what's the
Your
aid?
canoes.
Why do we not
Your
hear
canoes
that part?
hearken to me.
Hearken to.
We hearken to me, canoes. Yes.
The serious
Oh.
words.
Mayhap you're confused. Doma's liberation was but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle. And I would not presume to treat you thus. I come to petition your corporation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all of this?
Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing?
You heard of pirates, little miss?
Yeah,
Fine, we're simple souls. You pay our tithe. You sail in peace. Deny us our due, and we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water, and we'll see you drowning. If we see you drowning, but we are not in the business of doing something for nothing.
Why is Alice so childish suddenly?
Yeah.
She's been better than this.
Calm yourself, Mistress Alice. We did not come here to moralize. We came here to talk, and there is much to talk. According to records recovered after liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask that you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and sisters into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? What? What are we discussing right now?
Basically, some of the Domans have joined the Confederacy since then, I guess, and they want them to send the families of those Domans to the Confederacy instead of Doma.
Is there a reason for that?
No? Trade?
Is there? Yeah. So we're just are we really just trading people right now?
Yes.
Is that what...
Yes, we are.
I feel like we were going to, offer the benefits and bonuses of having an alliance and how that will benefit the Confederacy.
The benefit is you get people.
Like, this is weird, right? It's like you're negotiating prisoners to come to you, and you're like, some of these prisoners, they don't have family with us anymore. They're dead. These are just spare people. We don't want them, actually. Let's trade them for let's just trade them for some canoes. It's like, what?
No.
What's happening right now? What? Shouldn't they be given the choice if they want to go to the Confederacy or if they want to go to Doma?
Yeah, they probably should give them a choice. You're right.
Yeah. Well, that's
We
just
should
a normal
ask
thing
them.
to do. You don't. We're literally just. We got some spare people back here, right? We got how many? Let's say, how many do we have? Like, what, 12 and a half?
Exactly 45.
45 and a half.
What's the
Okay,
half?
there's like a guy with like one leg. Okay, yeah.
That's how-
We'll give him to at a discount. But wait, we got a good deal. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, what's happening? Like, what? How many canoes can 45 and a half people give
how
us?
exactly? How much do they weigh? Because we can measure their weight in canoes, you know.
Yeah. Set up some scales, right? We'll do some calculations.
Give my head.
How much mass of people are we talking about? No funny business. Don't like give them a big meal before you weigh them. Like, like what is this conversation? You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Ian. The losses we suffered at the Gallian hands are no secret, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels attack, so few pirates attack. Like, the conversation right now should be, hey, we're getting a bunch of prisoners from the war. They're coming back to us, and some of them used to be pirates. They're your people. We'll give them back to you. Like that makes more sense than whatever the fuck we're talking about. Like what are we talking about right now?
The conscripts wouldn't be pirates though.
Well, they would be ex-pirates. I don't think the Empire care. I'm sure they did take some pirates. Yes.
Maybe, but like they would.
Remember, they were having conflicts with the Confederacy. They literally just conducted a mission where they attacked the Confederacy
what I
island.
mean is that they wouldn't be conscripts. They could be like prisoners, but they wouldn't be conscripts specifically.
They could be conscripts.
It could be, but it's.
Yeah,
unlikely.
they could be. Why not? You just write it. I mean, what are you talking about? Just write it that they were.
Okay, sure.
There's nothing stopping you. That's why this conversation. That's what this conversation should be, right? Hey, we're getting some of your people.
That would make sense. That would make sense because I'm sure
we got a shipment of like 100 guys, right? And in the container, we were actually like going through them, and we found out that some of them used to be pirates. They used to be the part of the Confederacy. Used to be Confederacy people.
Yeah, that would
You
make
want
more
them back?
sense.
You want them back? Otherwise, we'll ship him back to Doma. Like if we don't want him, it's fine. We'll find a. We'll slot him in. Like what? Like doesn't that make more sense than whatever this is? Just give us some people. We could do some more pirates. Do they want to be pirates?
Yeah,
These people?
just make them pirates. Like what?
They're like women and children mixed into this. And they're like, no, yeah. We'll take them. We don't discriminate. It's fine. Teach them how to ride a canoe.
Ride a canoe and take tax.
Yeah. Also, we suffered at the Galleon hands are no secrets, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Alright. 30.75. Excuse me? Yeah.
You heard me. No, but in all seriousness, like the pirates probably wouldn't be bothered by this. They're pirates.
No, it's just this. No. This conversation, the pirates wouldn't be bothered with it. It's just, it shouldn't be happening to begin with. What are you talking about? Like, I'm sure the pirates deal in slavery. Like, it's a thing.
It's slavery, but they would probably like just get people, like whatever.
Yeah, it's not. It's just this conversation shouldn't be happening the way that it is. Very well. The Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we have mended her, she has yet to be declared seaworthy. The OSHA. The safety standards on the ship. We need you to bribe the safety inspector. Give him like 2 of your people, and that should be good. Give him 2 domens. 2.5 if you want. Grease up those wheels. Okay. She's sound enough down below. But when you load her up with conscript... Okay. Yeah, when you load this baby up with some of them people, like it's just she starts making noise, you know? It's not good. It scares them. They say that when people get scared, like it ruins them. Okay. And the waterline rises. Those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, we don't want wet humans trafficked around. Like we want to keep them dry. We don't want like mold to start growing on them or anything like that. Okay. So I just put some sand down there. Some salt to like suck out the moisture.
Fuck.
God. Look, what is this conversation that's happening right now? I don't even know. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you'll do me the favor of swimming around the hull to check for weaknesses. That is, if Dom and Lords are not adverse to getting their robes wet.
Why not take off the ropes? You just take them off.
Not this time, my lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. Ah, that's the spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanshi.
And I thought I had a knack for parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigating success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead.
Oh,
It was a very weird emote, I would say.
that was weird. It's like, wait a minute. If we're gonna get like 30.5 people, we don't have houses for them.
Or food.
Oh no. We got scammed. Well. I thought the rumors were exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. I appreciate that he deals in human trafficking. Okay.
It's like, he would make a fine pirate.
Fine pirate. Young lad, if you ever come across some more people, let us know. We'll bargain for you. Okay. Okay, we're in the wrong direction. Is the ship right? Hanshi. Aye, that's me. Captain said someone would be coming to inspect the hull. You haven't finished already, have you? Just jump in.
Yeah. Oh, hello again.
Ah, Alisay's over here. Alright, what does he say? The water is so invigorating. I have not swum in the Ruby Sea since. Ah, but should be concentrating on the task at hand. Okay, let's say.
For once, I'm actually glad Yukiri isn't here. I doubt she would have taken kindly to Parade inviting Hien to inspect his help.
Over here, there's a suspicious plank.
It's very sus.
Yes. A Mogas. The one over here.
What are we even doing with our hands?
Punch. Aye, I'm the shipwright. The apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need our attention?
The section I inspected seemed solid.
On the port side near the bow, you say? Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies. Seem to have lagged behind. I could float in that gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Hien. The captain sent you to inspect the hull? Come, you have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. Huh. This is quite all right. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. Take it you are of Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising. I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. But someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. Oh. How fares our lady? Is she seaworthy? Captain, we found a small crack in the port side. We'll have it fixed before you know it. Where's that duct tape? Ah. See, you've met the boy. Did he tell you a story? He babbles when he is nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts, as he hopes, I mean to give him the choice to leave this life. If he so chooses, I expect you to see they are provided for. It's like, that wasn't a part of the deal. I wanted to get rid of these people.
like exactly. Like that was like he's talking about them giving them a choice.
See, why is Rasho acting more rationally? Huh? Than Hien?
Because he's Rasho.
I've heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it. As leader, you can kind of like, pick and choose. You don't have to sell people. It's kind of weird that you're doing that, by the way, Ian. It's sure. I see him in the lad. I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them. But the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot. But he has scarce dipped his toes with us. If there is a life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more, and be it in Yanxia or out on the Ruby Sea. We have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and others like him are free to dwell where they desire. Which is why I'm selling people. Okay. Then the matter is settled. I'll make preparations to cast off.
Oh yeah, we needed the ship for the people because we don't have means to transport all these people that we are getting for some reason.
We're selling these people for a ship. Yes. How many
like
people is a ship
200 or
worth?
something? Like I think we're getting 200 conscripts. Question mark?
Huh? Yeah, we're not selling all of them though. We're keeping some, right?
I don't know.
Jesus. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave.
Wait, who are you? Why is there an aura here? Question mark?
We should have swam up. Okay, I'm gonna BRB. BRB. Ah, welcome back. Okay. Let's head in. Okay, let's say.
Alfino tells me they had little trouble finding a suitable route out of the castrum, but he won't say much more than that. If I didn't know better, I'd think he was hiding something. I can't imagine what.
Okay, Alfie. The castrum was deserted. Quite deserted. All right. If you remember, they were instructed to search the castrum because there were like some suspicious barrels there, so like maybe like some explosives or something. Like they didn't know what, but like there was something weird about what they were doing, and then they sent guys to. They sent Yugiri specifically to investigate.
I think it was Yugiri with Alfin.
The castrum was deserted, quite deserted. It was a simple matter to plot the surest path out. Hence our swiftness.
Hmm.
Okay.
Alfie staggering is weird. We found the castrum's tower unoccupied, and betraying no signs of recent activity. Only shadows and echoes awaited us there. Alfino seemed oddly reluctant to linger, but I saw naught to concern us.
Okay.
Did he see a ghost?
True. The callback. Seems Yugiri and Alfino completed their task before us. They have been waiting.
We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste.
From there, the Confederacy has pledged a ship to ferry us across the one river. Now we have but to attend the exchange, and pray to the kami these precautions were unnecessary. Complete.
This one.
I'm gonna switch to Reaper for this because I'm assuming it's gonna be a fight. Okay. How'd say?
They have the same dialogue.
Okay. Hien is ready to proceed with the prisoner exchange. Hold on. Okay. Are you ready, Cooper? Hello, Saka. Hello.
Huh?
Good to see you. Guys, the school bullies.
I mean, people keep bullying Alfie, okay?
True. But Alpha, he did say that he was afraid of ghosts. You know, that was
Yes.
the whole weird quest line portion.
Yeah, and Yugiri said that like you could like hear echoes and stuff, so maybe he just got startled.
Yeah. Okay. Cooper. So obviously, something has to happen, right? In the prisoner exchange. What is your prediction?
See, that's the thing. I like after the report, I don't know. Because before the report, I thought like, oh, they just like ferried crystals, and there would be like a primal or something there. Like I didn't expect it to be like a bomb or something. Because like a primal appearing there would like ruin their negotiations because they were supposed to like keep the primal threat in check. But if Yugiri and Alfino said that there was nothing there, then I don't know. What do you think?
So, I think we're probably gonna have to. They wouldn't have this much setup without us actually successfully saving some prisoners. So I think we're going to successfully save some prisoners. Initially, I thought that because Azula is now with them,
They're just gonna
that
stop.
Azula will show up. No, that Azula will show up and then she'll kill the prisoners.
Okay.
That's what I thought initially, but because we went through all the effort to get a ship and to secure the path and to secure all the stuff, then I feel like I feel like that has to play in. So I feel like we have to save some prisoners. But maybe Azula still kill some. Maybe she still kill some, or maybe as you said, crystals will deliver to the Red Kojin, and the Red Kojin will summon their primal, and because they have some rapport with Azula, like that, she's able to make that happen, and
Yeah, because
that disrupts things. I
again,
guess.
like that would be the best case scenario for the Galleons, because then like, oh look, they didn't hold their end of the bargain, so why should we, kind of thing.
Yeah, and maybe Azula helps with that. Maybe that was part of the plan of Nah. I was gonna say maybe that was part of the plan of Zuko, is that because Azula has again some history with the Kojin, that she's able to orchestrate that. But if you remember, Zuko already did that. Remember they orchestrated that the Kojin
Yeah.
would attack us on the road
Yeah.
when we went on the thing. So like that already happened anyway. So they didn't need Azula for that. So so I feel like she's gonna kill someone. Like she's gonna. I feel like she's gonna torture some prisoners.
Probably. I would assume that like they will like line them up and like try to kill them in front of Hien, maybe to like prove
Yeah,
to him
and
that
then
he
we-
should like submit.
Yeah, and then maybe like we interfere and we save them or something. Like I feel, it's not like that. Something like that, I would imagine. We'll see. Maybe they did deliver crystals to the Red Kojin, because we still have to do the extreme version of that.
Yeah, and
hasn't
also
happened
they
yet,
said
so.
that like there was nothing in the base right now, so maybe the crystals are just gone.
While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Kuro in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. Asked the Wolfman.
Yes.
He will see they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they will await us at the riverbank, not far from the castrum. If it is that they delivered crystals to the Red Kojin, I would have preferred it if Alfino and if Alfino and Yugiri were somewhat aware, and there was like a bit of a sign of that, and they could like try to piece it together. But let's see.
I feel like Alfino has enough experience that if that was the case, he would just know, right?
Yeah.
And he would tell us. That's the thing. Like he wouldn't like hide the fact from us.
Yeah. Hello, Sokka. We're doing MSQ today. MSQ. We're progressing the storage. Yes. We're getting there.
Okay,
Jubilation. Yes.
One day
We
we will get to end game.
4.3. No, one day we'll get to Ed Walker. That's a better way of putting it.
That's true.
Was this guy always there?
Which guy?
I thought Hakuro was the only Wolfman, but now there's this one. Or was this one?
No,
always here
there were
as well?
more. There were more.
Okay.
This guy was here for a while now.
Okay. Someone should really fix these bars.
What do you know? They're all using it.
Well, then make it a proper entrance. Like, what? Someone's gonna cut themselves on that. Get tetanus.
I can't help but see
Like
the
by someone.
Stargate.
Yeah, it's a Stargate. We repaired the ship. We got the canoes. We got him. Let's go.
That's really not a big ship, I will say. Again, look at this. We have this ship that we repaired and these two boats to ferry people over. How many
Yeah, we
people
got the
do you think
canoes.
that boat fits?
10.5.
Like 30? 50 max? If like all
Nah,
they all
you
stand?
can look. Yeah, in the hole, you can like stack them like horizontally or something, and like you can. You
I'm
can
talking-
Tetris it.
Okay,
You can Tetris them in the hole.
Look,
That's fine.
I am talking seriously. I am talking seriously because, again, like, this being this size, even though I know this is just a prisoner exchange, but this once again just makes Doma look very small.
It does. No, unironically, yes. I agree. Like, it's a prisoner exchange after like a big war like this has taken how many years? Like, we should be talking like
Hundreds, at
hundreds, if
least.
not like 1,000.
Yeah.
Like maybe more than that when it comes to prisoners. This does make it look like, all right, we're getting like 20 people.
Yeah,
right?
which
Like,
again, it feels like this is not like the country of Doma trading. This is like the village of Doma trading.
yeah. But that's just been an issue the entire expansion. Like, the scale for Doma has been poorly done. Like, it's just I say. But I think you can stack in like maybe like 40 people in there.
Just
Like,
keep going back. No matter what Asahi throws at us, we cannot let that monster have his way.
you know. Would that we had some hints as to the ambassador's intentions. What do you mean?
No, we don't know what
could
his
he
goal
be
is.
thinking?
We don't know what his goal is. I think that's what you mean.
No, we do know what the goal is. What are you talking about? It's like he said it to us, and we told Hien. Like, the intention is clearly for negotiations to fail.
Yes,
right?
but
he
specifically.
wants us to. No, sure, but like the general intention is there that he wants the negotiation to fail. So then, as like a strategist and as a leader, you want to be thinking of how would it fail? Like like your assumption is the obvious one, is that they would want to secretly like help the Red Kojin succeed in what they're doing, because technically that would break our agreements, that would break our peace deal, right? So like that's like the obvious thing that you would think about when it comes to like something to be concerned about and something to be thinking about and something to actively like look out for and to investigate stuff like that. Like that's like you have a general idea. So like
Like, do you think we will attend the exchange and then we're like, oh, hold on, there's a primal in the Kojin city, and we just get sent off and never see what happens?
no.
No? Okay.
Nah. Had we not prepared for the worst, I'd be wary of going through with this at all. Giddy.
My only concern is the safe return of our people. This is what my lord wishes, and that is what shall be done.
Yeah. The tower rather spoils the view across the river, does it not? I concede we might perhaps have chosen a less ominous place to conduct the exchange. The rational. Speak unto us your wisdom. Don't worry about the ship. It'll be where it needs to be, and with Tansui at the helm. See, I can rely on Mr. Anshono. Confederate skipper. Parties assembled then. I am ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though, the tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Hold on, before we continue. This would have been a really cool... Like, they're already kind of doing it. This would have been a really cool collaboration. Like, give Hien and the Roman people, give them some credit when it comes to preparing for stuff. Like, I love the idea of reuniting the different forces of the region that worked together to free the region, to work on the prisoner exchange. It's difficult because when it comes to those at the Azim step, because they were so isolationist, they never got anyone. They never got anyone abducted. It would have been nice if maybe it happened at the very end. Because if you remember, like, eventually the Empire did go up north, and the Brute was there. Remember, the Brute was there, and then I think we fought him, and they left. But if you're kind of like thinking of things ahead of time, and if you're setting the scene and setting the stage, if in that moment they had arrived but they had successfully taken some people. One, it would have given more motivation for the Arda at the Asm Step to get involved. But two, it would lead into this moment where you can also have them help out. And I would love the idea of having the Arda groups. And remember how last time they came in and they dealt with like the airships, like when we were assaulting the castle.
Yeah.
If we have them on standby with their drakes, with their no, they're not drakes, but with their mounts, and we have them there, and their purpose would be to, if shit goes down, you make sure that they can't escape by shooting down their air support and their ships to keep them them grounded, because what that means is that, hey, they come in with the like prisoners, and then we can like make sure that they're, I don't know, just like have some kind of organized like setup here in case things go poorly.
Even before that, the fact that they're flying, they can like keep an eye on what's happening from afar.
Exactly. They'll be like on patrol. Yeah, they'll be scouting, like to make sure, like, and even if nothing happens, even if they don't have to do anything, like just the idea of having them work together here again, as we wrap up that story, it's nice. It's just a nice way, story-wise, to like wrap up this story that's being had here. And they're kind of doing it because they're involving the Confederacy. True. It'd be nice if the Outer were involved too, you know, just because those are the three groups that help.
See,
right?
What should happen? The Kojin should ferry us over to the ship.
True, on their backs.
It happened before.
True. Oh no, yeah, or have the Kojin get involved as well, and have them like, you know, just like swimming under the sea, you know, just to make sure that they're on patrol to make sure the red Kojin don't show up or something.
Yeah.
Like
that. Like the blue Kojin should do their part to like, in controlling the red Kojin.
Yeah. So hello, Alex. Hello. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring back our people home. Yugiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble.
Yes, my lord.
We, in the meanwhile, shall cover their escape, and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the Castrom's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their parts. Come, let us be about it. Ravex. Yo. Music playing. Give us some voice acting.
Delayed.
No shot.
What?
I have to deafen, we'll see.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
Yotsuyu.
orphan of the Nauri, widow of Sashihai, and acting viceroy of Dorma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish!
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself. I will reign here in this putrid, pestilent swamp until the last of you has been broken. This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon!
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning!
A Dorman citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run? Against such a foe, I would be more hindrance than help. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
could not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I am become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty? I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail. Come, let us cast the stalks and look upon the fate of Dorma. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Hello there. Why is my enthusiasm so funny?
How did you enjoy this cinematic experience?
I mean, that's pretty much what I said, wasn't it?
Kind of.
I just thought they would drag Ravana to do it, but I guess they don't have to anymore. I will say something. This is one of these cases where the silent protagonist thing bothers me. Because the moment I see the chest opening and crystals are in there, I'm like, everybody run. You cannot, you cannot fight this. Whatever they're doing, you're out of the picture. I would just tell them to run that moment. Because I'm the only one with Echo around. So that part was like, you know, once again the part where the silent protagonist is kind of annoying. Yeah, what did you think?
The moment she lifted up the medallion, I was like, are we going full Sailor Moon with this? And they did. Going full Sailor Moon.
True,
Yeah.
I mean Sailor Moon, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Full Sailor Moon.
Also, I would like to point out that she has bunny ears.
She does for some reason.
No, you know why? Because of the rabbits on the
Oh
moon.
right, because of the rabbits. Yeah. Rabbits in the moon. True. So I said it during the cutscene itself. I think this is a worse version of what we theorized, right? Like I do think that like because you can sell the idea, even if it's in bad faith, you can sell the idea of like politically of Zuko being like, oh, you know, the Red Kojin, they successfully summoned their primal, you know, our agreement is broken, right? Like they that happened under your watch. You said that wouldn't happen. That was one of the big things that was like that was trying to keep this peace deal together, and you failed in doing so.
Yeah, I thought that was the
Like,
idea.
the deal is off. Yeah. And technically they got there, but in a different way, because instead of having the Red Kojin who they were already established, they suddenly had Azula become a primal instead. Which I feel like is just a really worse way to write the character. Like if you remember, like I was excited to see what they were going to do with Azula and with her brother, right?
Yeah, their relationship.
She just killed her parents. She didn't kill her brother. She died again. I thought that she was just gonna come out, and as soon as she showed up, I was like, "Yo, they're just gonna have her kill the prisoners? Like, let's go." Are we just
That's what I
gonna do
thought
this?
would happen originally, but no.
Yeah.
I will be honest. When she was having her whole monologue, like that's another part where I was like, "Is she done yet? Is she finished?" I would like look at us like, "Is she gonna like, keep talking?" Because she like just kept going.
Yeah, like, but like. Her character is more interesting without being turned into a primal. The problem with turning her into a primal means that like now she's just a mindless monster, and now we're just gonna kill her and that's it. Like, like her trying to deal with her as a character and having Gosetsu have to deal with that. Like to me is more interesting, right? Like in my mind, like if she did, you know, kill people and kill the prisoners and escape, like the idea of Gosetsu coming out of retirement and he's one of the reasons why technically their lives would be like in his hands. Yeah, it'd be his fault. He'd have to make up for that. He would have to, right? Like, and his confrontation of Azula, like that's a little more interesting than whatever the hell this is, right? Because my assumption is that, I mean. I was gonna say my assumption is that we're gonna kill her. At the same time, there's gonna be an extreme version, but I guess it could be like a minstrel's ballad, I suppose. So they can just. So I guess technically she. But I don't know. The idea of us killing her here like this. I mean, like I feel like there was a lot more that you could have done with the character.
I agree. Because it's like, oh look, we brought her back. Now she's gone. Like it's, yeah. They're killing that story before it begins.
Yeah, it's like what was the point of bringing her back to life if you're just gonna kill her again like this? I would assume that she would die anyway, but like I feel like you would want her death and her encounter and everything to be a little bit more emotionally impactful to some of the other characters, especially now like it has to be with Gosetsu, but even not just even Gosetsu, but with like the Doman people as well. Like I don't know if this doesn't feel satisfying, especially with like how awful she is as a character, right? Like it's like she is Hitler, and like I feel like.
I would argue that it's even worse than that because she's also just annoying. Like just as a person,
Sure.
like regardless of what she's done, like she just like every time she speaks, I'm like just rolling my hand.
Well, sure. Like you can argue that they did a poor job when it comes to her personality and stuff. Because I mean, we speak about this all the time. She would be more interesting if she was smarter. Like if she was like a more cunning.
Yes.
Like cunning is what she's lacking. She's not a cunning character, unfortunately. She's just evil to be
should be.
evil. She's just yeah. Like, I agree. She would be so much more interesting if she was like a smart, like cunning individual. Which I know that, like, for example, I think Soko was talking bad about her brother. I would say her brother has that up on her. Like her brother
Yes.
is the more interesting character because of that.
Yes.
That's why we gravitate more towards her brother, because he actually like has a brain, like more so than she
Yeah,
does.
he's
Unfortunately.
planning. He's planning things instead of
Yeah.
just like, haha, just gonna beat you up kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a shame. Like that's
Like
a
she's
that's
just
that's on
purely
the writers.
fueled by hatred. There's no like foresight
Yeah.
here at all.
Yeah, I mean the writers they chose to make her that way. They
Yeah,
chose
but that's
that-
what I
that
mean.
she would-
That's the
that-
character she
yeah.
portrays. That like it's just pure like spite and emotion instead of like any
Yeah.
sort of like actual like foresight.
Yeah. Which again, I feel like you could do so much more here. Like, what I want, and we might still get it. I want Gosetsu to recognize that he fucked up. That's what I want. Because I don't like what happened there. I just don't like that he was like babying her and all this stuff. Like we were talking about it as well. Like the idea that like she could get her memory back, but they were like delusional. They just didn't want to
I mean,
like
I think it's
think
again,
about that
I will-
reality.
I will repeat what I
Um,
said before. That like I think it's fine of them to take care of her and like not execute her in her current state, but you
Yeah.
should be containing her. Like she shouldn't be just walking free.
Yeah, like I want more of Gosetsu, and I want him to be involved in whatever is about to happen. I'm afraid that they're just not going to do it now, right? I'm just afraid that we're just going to kill her. That's it, and it's over. It doesn't feel satisfying. This none of this feels satisfying right now. Like Also, the quick side tangent, which was very convenient, is that apparently even though they showed up and they had no intention of actually fulfilling their end of the bargain, they still brought their prisoners anyway, and we're
Yeah.
going to get them anyway.
Apparently.
That was yeah, that annoyed me. Not gonna lie. Clown show.
But that's the thing. I said it before that like we're never gonna actually see the conscripts. Like that's gonna be done.
No, that's
off-screen.
fine. That's fine. I just thought it would be like something more important that we could work towards.
I guess time to beat her up. 'Cause that's what she wants. Again, I would say this is like very. I would say this is referencing the big guy. You know how they turned him into like a machine abomination something, and like now they turned her into a primal.
The brute.
Huh?
Kind of. Well, that's the other thing. Sorry, that's the other thing that was really weird to me is that like suddenly she's a primal. It's like what? Like, as in, isn't that what the Empire is strictly against? But also, not just that, but you can't just be a primal. Like
I mean, it's
there needs to be. No, but she didn't just be a primal. Like she was crazy, but she also had a bunch of followers. Remember, like it's the will of many. You need that like that strong will of like a fuck ton of people to be able to will something like that into existence. Which is why Ysael had a massive cult of followers. That's an important factor. That's how this has been set up for us. This would make more sense. No, not even. How do you properly write this? How do you
is
how do you
just
make
so
her
hateful
turn into...
that her own hate fuels her primal.
But I don't believe that. Huh?
Also,
Like,
I'm pretty
sorry,
sure we were told we were like told before that you can make a primal just as one person, but it's not like a big primal. It's like a small one. I think that happened in the story
it's a baby
somewhere.
primal. I think it did, but did it?
Wasn't that in the Manderville questline actually? Now that I think about, wasn't the
It was in the Maniville quest line. Yes.
it was
It was the chicken. It was the
primal?
anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically, it was the chicken. It was his will that willed the chicken primal into existence. That is true. There is
Yeah,
precedent.
so it's possible.
But no, but like that's like a joke quest line. Like I don't think we
mean,
have to take that
look.
seriously. Like,
It's in the universe, is what I'm saying.
well, if that was true, then they didn't need all those people to like blow up the cache room at the start of the expansion. They could have done that with one person, or like, you know, like or summon the Valg or what's Shinru.
See,
whatever.
what I thought would happen was that they bring the conscripts to the place, they bring the crystals to the place, and then she becomes a primal and like assimilates the conscripts as thralls. Even if they don't worship her, like she can still take the Iraq power.
No, you know what would have been crazy is no, yeah, I like the idea of using the conscripts like that, like in a different way. I would have them have they set up a Domin deity? I don't think they have, right? Like for
Maybe. I think the Shinru.
for Alamigo they did.
I think Shinru may be the Doman deity, but it's not a primal because they stole Shinru.
They did, but they can unsteal it. But that's what I would do. I think you have the Domin conscripts. You line them up, and then have her inflict terror on them, and make them will like a savior into existence, right? Like that's what you do. If you remember, that's what happened at the beginning of the expansion when they blew up the cache room. Remember, in their despair, they were all wishing for salvation, and then that's how.
But they were wishing specifically for Raud, and I feel like it has to be a specific deity. It can't be just any deity.
No, it does. Yeah, it does. That's what I mean. They were wishing for Raud. Here you can have them wish for Shinru, right? And sure, they're wishing for Shinru, but just like Ysayle was able to take the form of who the people were wishing for, which was Shiva, right? Like they weren't wishing for her; they were wishing for Shiva. She was able to take advantage of that and turn into Shiva. Here, have them wish for Shinru, and then have her take the form of Shinru,
But then
and
she
take
cannot be
advantage
the moon.
of their despair. Fuck the moon.
No,
You
this
know-
was very important to her.
No, it wasn't. What's the point about the moon to her? What does the moon have to do
She
with her?
likes the moon. That's
She
it.
likes. She just likes the moon. She just
Yeah.
likes it. She just likes the moon.
Look, she was like,
have
okay,
have
you can
them-
turn me into a primal, but I have to be pretty. That was her deal.
Look. If they, like, you can be a Shinru pretty god. Like, you can just fucking have some artists. Like, you can do it. If they really want to do the moon motif, then just write it that suddenly the Domans there's like a moon god that they worship and that they wish to whenever they're like in trouble in times of despair, and then have that tie into it. That'd be nice.
It would be interesting. I agree.
Yeah, it'd be more interesting than this. Than
But
her
I
just
don't know.
flipping
I
up
fe- I
the
still
medallion
feel
and just
like-
turning it. But the problem here is that this makes it look like anyone can do anything. As in, like,
No,
because I didn't get the strong feeling that she wanted to become this.
No, I think what
Right?
Soko is saying is right. We're like, it's specifically the relic that enables her to do that, and that would be related to what Empire is already doing because Xenos was able to merge with a primal. So I would assume that this is like the next step of the research, essentially.
Well, even if that's the case, I would still say that having the prisoners wish for salvation and having her use that would be better than.
I agree. It would be better if not for like it would just make it more dramatic. You know, if
Yeah,
if
it would,
was
it would,
the prisoners
yeah.
themselves unwillingly contributing to what is happening.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. It's a shame.
And
Okay.
and again, you can write it that way where that, like, even though they were, as you said, they would be like wishing for Shinra or something. Like, you can have the relic, like, you know, capture the energy
Take
that was
that.
sent
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
else.
No, yeah, you can write it. You can. You know what? Kuro, with the power of writing, you can do that. It's great.
No,
It's
but
crazy.
I'm saying that, like, it would
with
fit.
some good writing, you can do that.
Look,
Yes.
no, what I'm saying is that it would fit in what the Empire is already doing, what they have been already experimenting with. It wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
you know, surprising for them to have that kind of technology.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like, I mean, literally, like, they were like trying to like re-enable Ultima, which was like consuming other primals. So like they already have
Yeah.
like the precedent of like researching that kind of technology.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Soko, would you help us kill Azula?
Ah.
A Kojin relic, a hidden trove of crystals. Through these tools of ritual summoning, the restored Yotsuyu is reborn as Tsuyukomi.
Wait,
The divinity of night. So it even explains here it's a Kojin relic, apparently.
that makes it even worse though. Why Kojin relic? That would be Ravana then. They should have
It
just
would-
left
it
it
would
as
be.
ambiguous. Why is it
yeah,
Kojin?
yeah.
Get them.
It did, yeah. So I guess this means the Kojin worship the moon? If the Kojin had the
No,
relic?
no, apparently it has nothing to do with anything. Because, yeah, no, they should just left the relic ambiguous. They shouldn't have said where it came from.
I know they should have, but they didn't. They say it's apparently it's a Kojin relic.
Yeah, which
So it's
fuels
it's
your
Kojin now.
which fuels your fear. Like anyone can be anything because it doesn't matter.
Well, no, like the relic was moon shaped, but like I guess what I'm saying is that apparently I guess the Kojin worship the moon.
This
Which
is the
kind-
first
which
time
you
we
can-
hear
you
about
can-
that.
It is. They just made it up. But like you can spin it, you know. But they should have set up ahead of time where like because the moon controls the tide of the sea and they're in the sea. Like you can write that they worship the moon. That's fine. I mean you can write that anyone worships the moon. Like the moon.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
Divinity
I
of
would
Night and Lady of the Moon.
see. I would be more accepting if they said that this was just something that was in the Kojin vault, because we know that they gathered trinkets, so it doesn't necessarily have to be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a Kojin deity, but just one of the trinkets that they gathered.
Yeah. This being of celestial majesty would rule from on high and drown the land of Doma in eternal darkness. Will your light shield Hien and his people, or will it flicker and fail before the encroaching abyss? Are you ready, Kumba?
Yes, I've been boxing this entire time. I did some push-ups, I did some stretches, and I've been boxing this entire time. So I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm not showing no weakness to the moon bunny.
Time to punch the moon.
The moon itself. Did you leave?
Yes.
You're supposed to protect your friends, and you're just like, okay, here's
I
the
just
exit.
walked out. Yeah, I just
You walked out. Like, yeah, you stay here. Enjoy your stay at the cast room.
All right, I didn't get to when they first showed those boxes. By the way, when they had the wide shot,
You
I
thought it's
assumed
coffins?
from home there. I thought it was the prisoners.
Yeah, that's what
they
I
were in the
thought.
boxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when you said no, I'm like, oh, I think is this what they're doing? Like, I immediately thought that's what you thought about. Yeah.
Well, they've already shown precedent. Remember when Cry was being kept? She was being kept in boxes.
Yes,
Remember?
yes.
Like she was being kept in.
Like,
yes, I
because-
just assumed it was going to be that.
Yeah, because again, it would make sense that like they would have already been experimenting on them, and they'd be like, well, I told you
Yeah.
we would return them. I wouldn't tell you like in what shape. Like this is what they look
Yeah,
like now.
yeah. I would have liked that a lot more than one. No, you know what you
I
do?
feel like that would
You know
be
what
very
you do?
cliche, though.
You tie it into what happened previously. they're in like stasis, like they're in like comatose stasis, and they're like wishing for their god, for salvation. If you
Because,
remember,
yeah.
that happened. Yeah, that happened with the dragons. Remember, we found out that there were a bunch of dragons in stasis, and they were
Yeah,
all
but-
perpetually wishing for their dragon god,
But it
and,
was
and
like
that's what fueled.
Alagant's technology, so they would have to like
No,
set
yeah,
up that
but-
they have access to that as well.
Well, no, they're doing their own version of that, obviously. Like that's, it makes sense that they would want to replicate that, because they're trying to like replicate elegant technology, and they've already shown that happened with Dalamud. Remember Dalamud? He was being powered by basically like a bunch of like comatose dragons, like in a big
Yeah.
chamber, which is crazy, by the way. But like the idea of them trying to replicate that, like that would have been sick.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like that's one of the craziest revelations that they've had. Like that's. is keeping people in a comatose state and having them wish for their god to save them, just to fuel their god
Yeah,
primal. Like
yeah.
that's yeah. Oh, it's Sailor Moon.
Does she get a mini skirt?
God, she really does have massive bunny ears.
Yeah, I didn't notice the first time.
It looks so stupid.
I mean, it's... Oh, they move
They're
weirdly
just
though.
so long.
Why are they so
Yeah.
flowy though? That bothers me. The length does not. The way that they're just so... They move weirdly.
Oh, it's going to be a long night. Your end is near.
Hey, got out of that.
Beg them! Your death will be all the sweeter.
Okay, why are the specters suddenly?
Oh, they're so fast. Oh, they're meant to be like, tormented souls.
Yeah, but why can she call them?
I don't know. It's like, yeah, look, like, she knew what she wants. It's fine.
But yeah, she specifically says that, oh, it's feeding on my head. So it's exactly as I said. He knows himself? Okay.
Oh, look, it's Xenos. Is that Gosetsu?
Yes, there's a Spectre of Gosetsu.
No, sure. Is this just one big therapy session? Is that what's happening
Yes.
right now?
It's like, why are you
God,
here?
what was the
Place.
what was the last thing that what was the last one that did this? Remember? What was the last therapy session we had? That's therapy.
I don't remember,
Oh,
but there
no,
was
that was
one.
sorry, that was Final Fantasy 16. That was Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. I was playing through that.
Oh, now she looks different. No, she's just smaller.
In
Never
the
mind.
darkness blooms the spider lily. From mortal husk, I rise anew.
Yeah, because remember in Final Fantasy 16 we find out that we were the ones that actually
I
killed our
shall
brother.
prevail.
Yes. Spoilers. by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, spoilers, but we figured that out through our own therapy session.
True, because it was like you were like looking at the fight
Yeah.
and then we were fighting. Like, oh, it was me actually.
Beg the mercy.
Do I know what to do? Nope.
Nope. I'm just.
Am I standing on the right side or not? No idea.
Shine petals veil.
Just gambling.
I'm also gambling. Well, I'm still alive, so I guess I gambled right. Shall we limit break at some point? We can wait a minute.
Beg the mercy.
Uh-oh.
Look here. In.
No. Not yet. Not yet.
I'll grind you under my heel. I'll grind you under my heel.
Again? Oh, I'm just gonna stay here. Oh, she had swords. I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Wasn't she using a gun originally?
Didn't you like how when she transformed with her smoke pipe as well?
Yeah.
No shot. We like cleansed her. No, no shot.
No. No,
Did
no,
we
no,
just have a big therapy session and
No, no,
cleanse
no, no,
her
no,
brain?
no,
No,
no, we're not pulling out that bullshit.
Oh no shot.
No.
No shot. That's like the worst thing you could have done. Did we just cleanse her brain? Did that just happen? No shot. That just happened.
We beat her up until
No
she became
shot.
Gandalf the White.
Did we just no shot. Did we just beat her brain until she forgot all about being bad? Is that what just happened? Did we just Oh god.
she
Nah,
had a therapy
Sokka,
session.
don't say it's so, Sokka.
Uh,
No shot. There's no way. Let's.
I mean, it would be very Final Fantasy, but yeah, that's weird. We'll see.
No shot. I mean, she's.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down. My! Such hostility! These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer. Will you surrender to anger then? Slay an anointed emissary to avenge a fallen foe?
Ha! You cannot, of course! To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
Oh, but I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This Doorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point. It should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Dorma. I would have repaid his faith.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore! Ah!
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill. Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you. What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead. Her happiness was never to be. Not in this world. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Lord Xenos. Lord Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Asai, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
She lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps. Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable, but as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so. The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, A slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord. My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
She is gone. Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now, but our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here, but it seemed to me there was more to the tale. I have heard tell of this power you wield. And in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an impostor has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect them?
Yes. As the late Ambassador's second-in-command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Impostor or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk her life on countless occasions. Next to her, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
Tis not for me to stop you, but I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
Go then. You've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
I shall be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
Ah. Handler.
Why, hello there. Let me, hold on. Let me play it again. Oh, hi! Is the battle over?
Hi.
That was literally here. Like, as we stand on atop 2 dead bodies, he's like, oh, is it over yet? Like, he was so cheerful.
Ah.
Like, it actually threw me off, like how cheerful he was about what happened.
I'm gonna be happy.
Okay. Okay. Where do we want to start?
Hello, Iceland. Hello. 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 What's up, Coppa?
Uh-huh.
What happened? What's up? What's up? What's up, Coppa? Ah.
So we finished Azula's therapy session.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
And then she became Azula the White.
She did.
And then we're like, okay, cool. She's dead. And then Zuko showed up and he shot her. It's like, well, that was
Nice.
unnecessary, but sure.
Yeah.
And then he went insane. For no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I keep summarizing or should I say what I think?
Just say what you think. It's fine.
I will say his whole dramatic monologue made very little sense. I don't know, maybe not. Made little sense to me, and then it made even less sense to me when we learned of the flashback.
Yeah, I agree.
It was like, oh, why didn't he pick me? I should have all this power, but then we are shown a flashback when he literally grants him the power. It's like, you will be my personal agent, like, you will do my plan. Like,
Yeah.
so that's literally, like, he literally got the better deal. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, even more than that, like Xenos himself, like, agreed with him, like, yeah, your sister is, like, useless, like, we should just use her as a tool. And, like, he's still upset that she was granted power?
No, yeah, it didn't make any sense. It felt like, because obviously he was repeating things that happened in the fight, in the dungeon or in the trial. It felt like maybe this decision was made. Sorry, this scene was created before the flashback scene, and the flashback scene was made after the fact. And there's just like a disconnect between the story that's being told between those two scenes.
Yeah, because it
but
from the
I'm pretty
flashback,
sure
it
that's what
seemed
happened.
like he got all he wanted and more.
Yeah.
So, like, it made no sense for him to go on that crazy monologue there. And I
agree.
It was just really weird because, insane for because it did seem like insane for no reason because he achieved what he wanted. Like the Gallian forces saw what he wanted to see. Yeah, that's another thing. I was under the impression that like the other Gallians were also in on this, but apparently they were completely like unrelated to him. They were like he basically infiltrated the organization, but they were like they didn't actually know him personally. But yeah, I would think he saw the Gallians saw what they needed to see. Like the Domas were properly inconvenienced, to put it that way, with having like Yotsuyu over their heads. All he should have done, because Yotsuyu is dead, he also like ties and loose ends, so like that won't come to bite him. So what would make sense to me was if he shot her, maybe he like lamented like he caused him so much trouble and just left. Like there was no reason for him to have that whole like.
Yeah, like so the problem is two things just happened, and like it's the same problem. It's the same. It's I think one of the first things. I mean, I was speaking a lot as to what things were happening as they were happening, but like with everything wrapped up here, they're making the same mistakes, and it's just bad writing. So what I mean by that is if you remember, we spoke about how Xena should have never died to begin with. Like they should have, if they wanted to use him later, obviously they didn't know that they wanted to use him later. Obviously there was no planning ahead of time, and obviously there were different people and different writers, and they just fucked themselves up. So they had to like retcon it, and even here they're kind of like they're being a little bit fourth wally. They're like, hold on, didn't he kill himself? Like what's going on?
We saw him kill himself.
So that like obviously they're trying to write it in a way that makes sense. I think there are a couple ways they can do it, but whatever. But the big mistake is killing a villain without knowing where the story's going to go, right? That's why they should never have killed him to begin with. And same, you could argue the same with Azula, and I would say the same here with Zuko.
Yes.
The problem is, the reason why they killed him is because they don't want to.
They closed the story.
Like yes, they want to be done with it. Like it's which is weird because like why begin it then why start it? Like why start this story in the way that you did if you were done with it in like a patch and you wanted to just move on? I thought with the way that they were writing this story, I thought this was going to last the entire post patch. Like there's still like 2 more patches left, by the way. Like there's still more story to be told here in Stormblood. I would have thought that they would have kept him alive and continued this. But no, it looks like they just want to move on. And it's like, well then why do any of this to begin with? Why did we bring Azula back to life if we're going to kill her here and now? Like,
I mean, see, I would be okay with
I would
Azula
say
being killed here because like they were kind of like proving like look, she's like nothing more than a puppet because she doesn't really like think about what she's doing, kind of thing. So like I would be fine if her dying here. It just was completely like out of the blue for Zuko to do what he did.
Well, it is out of the blue, but it's because they just wanted to kill him. Like they wanted to just they just wanted to be done with the character. And it's just such a, it feels like such a waste. And I would still say the same about Azula. Like I understand that you're like, oh, like if they kill her now, it's fine. It's like, why bring her back to begin with? Like why construct this part of the narrative to begin with? We're just gonna like just throw the characters away anyway. Like it's just. Yeah, I think it was just poorly planned. I almost want to say that they began this story with plans of using Zuko in the future. Then halfway through, they were like, "Oh, actually, we're not going to use him. We've decided internally we're not going to use him in the next patch. We're going to use Zenith instead, and he's going to be the main focal point. And we don't really know how to write these
That's
two
fine.
together, so we're just going to get rid of him." No. They can't. They don't know how to. Like, you think they can write more than one character?
I would hope so.
No, they can't, apparently. So they had to kill him off to be able to focus on writing the one character instead. Yeah, that's how it feels to me. It feels like the direction of the character changed quite aggressively, like halfway through the story, because they wanted to get rid of him. Because they maybe initially planned on using him later, and then they decided not to use him later.
I don't know. I still like more on, like the potential actual story they could have
I
had
agree.
that there with.
No, I agree. I think there could have been a really good story told here, and I think they ruined. Well, they just missed the opportunity to tell a good story. I agree.
Also, another thing is that like, if because we only just learned, as I said, that like that the other Gallians who were with Zuko were not actually part of this plan. So, wouldn't it make more sense to keep Azula in custody? Like, tell her what the plan is. Like, assuming her bombers come back, like, tell her what the plan is. Or maybe don't tell her what the plan is, but like, insist on bringing her to this event, and then as she is brought to the event, then you trigger her and she just becomes a primal there on the spot, and then you're like, look, Doman summoned the primal, because otherwise it just doesn't serve the purpose that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because the Gallians clearly saw that she was planted, and as we saw, like they didn't agree with that, because apparently they were actually legit.
Yeah. Well, I think that's just like it's yeah. It's just they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like they still want the idea of the Garleans wanting to push for peace and having like negotiations possible, but they wanted to kill this character, so they had to write it. And this is why I think the flashback was done afterwards and was probably done without actually checking like what was being done on the patch itself. It was, in my mind, it was made by two people, like two different writers made the flashback and the present timelines, stuff that's happening. And what I mean by that is that flashback, that is what explained that, like, oh, actually he was being directed and told by a third party, and this had nothing to do with like the Garlean Empire and all this stuff.
Like, that was not a new information, was it? Like, we didn't know that the
That he was-
order came directly from Xenos, but we already knew that Xenos.
No,
was
no,
a-
no.
I
No,
guess our
the
character
idea-
didn't know.
Yeah, well, no, we didn't know that what he was doing wasn't what the Guardians wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we didn't know, right? We
I
we
guess
didn't
so.
know that. Yeah, exactly, right? And then that was inserted afterwards, so that this whole negotiation stuff and the political stuff is not completely broken down. Because if the Guardians knew what he was doing, then there is no negotiating, right? Like there is no reason to send Alphinaud off to
Oh, we're
to
gonna
the Empire.
get to that. Don't you worry.
but there'd be no reason for that if it was like all in bad faith and they planned from the beginning to like kill us and stuff like that, right? So they had to write it that he was doing his own thing and it was separate, so they could cleanly like cut off that part of the story.
That's the thing.
without it
Like
disrupting
that's
anything
exactly what it feels like. Like, oh, we removed all these problematic characters. Now we can move on to this part.
else. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's just
Which again, I think is the worst story. Like the better story was if
It is.
Asahi was actually a legit character and he actually was
Yeah.
like a diplomat.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even if he wasn't, even if really he was just Xenos ultra fan, as apparently we learned, like, just we said it before, like he seemed more intelligent. Like, just keep him that way. We're like, he knows exactly what he's doing, and like he knows not to overstep it either, because he just overstepped it and he died.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just very unnecessary scene. That made
Well,
me
it's
sad.
I would say it's just very lazy storytelling, right? Because as you said, what the problem is that the way that he died was very out of character. I think that's maybe a better way of putting it. It just didn't make any logical sense, and they had to like Frankenstein tape it together to just have him be killed, and that's how they decided it, right? If they wanted to kill him off in that situation, there probably would have been better ways of doing it, of course.
You know what
You
they
could have
done?
you could have probably still killed him off here, but like have him like keep that more like cool-hearted demeanor, and just everyone thinks that she's dead, and then she
Yeah,
kills him.
yeah.
Like there's like that's how you do it, right? That's how you would write it.
That would actually be a really cool scene. If you had
It
a
would.
similar dialogue here, like where he like comes out and like he said like he does shoot her, and then like he just talks to you like, what, are you gonna like attack me because and then like she just kills him as he's speaking.
Yeah.
That would be such a nice dramatic scene, instead of him
It
just
would.
going insane for some reason.
Yeah. I think the insane thing I think it's like a trope, but like I think the writers feel the need to make you dislike the character.
Yeah, they wanted to
before
portray him as a
killing
monster.
them.
Like everything about like the facial expressions, like it was
Yeah.
very like it felt very like forced. It's
Yeah,
like,
it
look,
is.
Look
It
how,
was very
look how evil he is, kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. It's very, very forced, very unnatural, like very. Yeah, that's why I say it's just lazy writing. It's just like because they just want to very quickly make you dislike the character first, then they can kill him off, and then you can feel nice about this character dying because they were quote unquote crazy. But like this that's why I said it was very out of character, because it was just never portrayed ahead of time. It was portrayed as something different. But
Yeah,
like
he was
it's
portrayed
just,
as a
yeah.
very collected person. I mean, heck, you can have him be emotional about this, because you can be like, oh, like she screwed his entire life and he's like mad about it. You can have him be emotional about it, but him just like going off on her, as at the same time we are shown that like he's gotten everything he wanted. It's like, it's just, it makes no sense. It makes so little sense. And also,
fun fact.
I was gonna say, once again, same as in the previous scene where we have Asahi being like baiting. They were like, oh, you look, he's like baiting you. Like, are you mad? And like they show our characters as mad. I'm like, no, I pity him. Like his existence is so sad, and like I would maybe even like walk away if not for the fact that he had the gun in his hand.
Yeah. Fun fact: they did the same thing. This whole idea of like making the character look as bad as possible before they kill them. They did the same thing with Azula the first time they killed her. If you remember, we commented on it at the time that they went as hard as they could to make her as despicable as possible before killing her off. That was when they they laid it on real thick when she shot Kosetsu, and then they kept like doing the close up on her face, and like she's like laughing, and like she's got that like evil like sinister smile and stuff. It's like all that was incredibly unnecessary, but they just really want you to understand that this character is like just a bad person.
Yeah, this is a
just
bad
to kill her
person.
off.
It's okay to remove them.
Yeah, and it's okay for her to die, that sort of thing. Like it's the exact same thing. Like it's like a crutch in writing. Like it's just again, it's just really lazy like storytelling. Just because like you're trying to like insert it, you're just trying to like inject emotion into a scene without it like deserving that, right? Like it just there was no like build up to that, or there was no justification for that. But they did the same thing with Azula when they first killed her off, and then they decided to keep her alive. But the same thing here as well, where like they portray him the way that they did just to kill him.
Again,
yeah,
I said
I
it
don't know,
before, and I will say it again. Some of the best villains are the ones that like aren't just evil in your face. You know?
Yeah.
They have like, and they have their motivations. Sometimes those motivations even make sense. They just make them like do like evil things in the end. But like, villains which have like a whole like, you know, logic and build up behind it are more interesting than someone who's like, you know, aha, it's so funny to like, you know, hurt people kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say that it's like lazy storytelling, or it's just bad writing. Really, what it is, it's like high school level like writing. Just like because creating like a more interesting, compelling character is more difficult, and because it's more difficult, like it's just difficult to achieve. It's difficult to do, and so people just don't do it, or they sometimes they don't even try. And that's kind of what we're getting here, which is a shame. It's a shame. Like the moment that happened. Like it's like, oh, when is the writing meant to get good now? Because like there was potential. There was potential at the very beginning of this post
could be a
match.
really good story.
Like the first half was actually like well told, and then I don't know, maybe whoever was writing the first half, they're like, okay, hey, you got to work on the next patch. We're gonna take you out of this project. You got to work on the next one. Then they hand it off to like old mate intern, like to wrap up the story. And he was the same guy who wrapped up MSQ apparently.
I think,
okay, let's go.
I
don't know.
I think I'm more willing to believe in change of direction than just putting a different person. Where like you said, they like actually like change the concept for the next expansion, so this character can't be here for whatever reason.
Yeah, but like the problem is that if that's true, as we said, like there are cleaner and better ways to write the character off. So that's why I would assume that it was someone else doing it, because I have a hard time believing whoever wrote this wrote the first half, right? Like I feel like the quality of the writing deteriorated towards the end. So I would assume that it's a different person who's writing that. It's kind of weird if it's the same person.
It's actually bothering me so much that like you could play it out the same way and still give Asahi a better scene, like just by making it more quiet, where like he's just, you know, talking to you like nonchalantly, and that's where he just gets stabbed, you know, as he's talking.
Yeah. That's what you. I mean, that's just what you do. That's just
it would have such a good like shock value as well, because he's just talking and like suddenly he's like, you know, stabbed and stuff. Why didn't they just do that? They could have just done that. And like, I guess someone could say, yeah, but then how do you prove that he's evil? Well, he already shot her. Like, the things already happened, you know? Like, he doesn't need to be more insane.
Yeah.
Now, about Alphino.
You're skipping ahead. Did you catch the moments where they in that because remember how I told you how the flashback scene felt very inserted after the fact? There was a line in that scene where they quickly explained the relic. They explained that apparently Azula she as a child she grew up in a religious household and she worshipped the Kojin gods. Did you catch that? And that's why the Kojin and they specified that it was a Kojin relic.
He didn't say Kojin gods. He said that she was raised believing in the kami, so she's religious enough to do this.
Yeah. but he specifically also emphasized that it was a Kojin relic as well. So the theory, the idea that it was like a relic that was taken from like another culture or something that they just
Why
collected.
would she
Like,
worship the Kojin?
Yeah, he straight up said no, it was a Kojin relic instead. Like, so the idea or the ambiguity that you could have had there, they just decided to just strip away,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, that was a Kojin god that she was manifesting.
Yeah,
apparently.
just
like,
make it
what?
ambiguous, and then, like you can leave
Yeah,
it at that.
yeah.
You don't need to flesh that out specifically.
That, you know what that line reminded me of? That line reminded me of when
The
they
kimono?
said, "Oh, yes, it's the same thing," where they over-explain it,
Yes.
which means they draw more attention to it, which means they make it worse.
Which makes it
Same
more
thing.
weird because now you're paying attention to it.
Yes.
It's like, hold on.
Yes,
what?
exactly. Same thing. So whoever wrote that line as well. Like, it's just, it's
Also,
the need to
let me
feel to
just put-
over-explain and then to try to like cover their tracks, but to mess it up in the process.
Let me
Like,
just
oh,
let me
God.
just also put one thing clear, like about that line specifically. So what that line said was she was raised in like a religious household. But
Uh-huh.
from what we know, she was sold as a child.
She was sold as a child.
and
Yes.
her parents hated her. Why would that
Yes.
like impact what she believed in?
Mm-hmm.
Why would she like have the same beliefs
Like,
as
does
her
like
household?
does that what does that mean? Does that imply that the person that she was sold to, like they worshipped the Kojin gods? Question
But she
mark.
hated
is
them
that,
as
is that
well.
what that's meant to imply?
Like
I know.
the
I
only
know. It
the
doesn't
only
make any
thing the only
sense,
thing
yeah.
I could think of is like, oh, maybe because like the Domans like hated her and caused her so much pain, she somehow found her way to the Kojin and like gravitated towards the Kojin
Mm-hmm.
and their gods. But she also killed her Kojin. She also hated Kojin as well.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
That would have been that would have been interesting. You don't have to do it with the Kojin, but like the idea that because of her disdain for the dominant people, like because that's so strong and so great, that she would like intentionally like look to like listen to and like worship like other religions or other races or
like
other
because
people.
Kojin
And, like,
were
and
a
that
threat
have
to
that-
Domans at that point.
Yeah, and have that tie into that. That would have been a lot more interesting for sure.
Yeah, and then you can be like, oh yeah, it was like a Kojin relic, and she knew those relics because she was interested in this. You know, that would make sense. But they didn't do that. In fact, another thing I wanted to say is like, we got many
When she said the
scenes-
line?
We got many scenes with Azula in the entire like expansion, and not a single
Yeah.
one implied that she's religious.
No, not at all. Did you catch the line where she said that from the beginning, I wanted to kill you first when she talked to her brother?
Yes.
And there was no explanation of that? That was weird. Where apparently
You
she
know
hated
what?
her brother more than her parents. But
You know
like,
what? I would
which
let
is
that one
which you
slide.
can.
I would let that one slide.
No, you can let it slide if you explain why. Like, we don't know why she hated her brother more than the people that sold her.
I mean, she said that it was because he saw what's happening and he didn't help her. So maybe she had the idea that because they are both
Her
like,
little brother? What's her little brother gonna do with her,
because
with her
maybe
sister's,
in her
sister's being
mind, like they are
sold?
both siblings, so they're supposed to like help each other. But he was the same as the parents that they maybe when they were younger, it was like they were actually like on good terms. But again, we were not shown that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to show that relationship to be able to sell that line. Like, that line is
I mean, again, I'm
crazy.
more willing to let that line slide, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Uh-huh. No, that's I mean, I say it's crazy. I guess if you want to portray her as a bad person, sure. Or like as a broken person, the idea
Yeah, a
of-
broken person. That's
of
what
blaming
I'm getting at.
yeah, the idea of blaming your sibling for your parents like abusing you because your sibling didn't help you, but they're your younger sibling. that's crazy. But like I guess if that's the kind of like person that you want to portray, like sure. But
I mean, again, like, because
they glossed over that though,
they
like real
did-
fast and real quick.
Yeah, but they did like they did like portray her, although after the fact, but they did portray her as like somebody who, because of the way she grew up, she was just mentally broken in many ways. Like she just had weird concepts about the world because of that kind of thing. So I wouldn't put it past her that like she thought that like it was his duty to help her because they are siblings.
Yeah. Like you can write it that way. You can. I will grant that. But they didn't. Like like this is just like our fan fiction, but sure, yes.
But that's why I'm saying that like I'm more lenient towards that line specifically.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because it could happen and they could write it that way. Just that we didn't get the proof of that.
they didn't, yeah. They could. They could.
Also, oh yeah, I guess not. That's really important. Never mind. I was gonna say that we never. Did we ever see Asahi before he became a thing?
No. I don't
Like,
think so.
like when we before this part of the story came out, like with Asahi, like did we see her having a brother?
No. There was no. She never even mentioned it. Like this was something constructed for the post-patch stuff.
I mean, that happens. Okay, what else? What else is on the list? Because if not, then I'm gonna talk about my favorite answer in an RPG.
What do you mean? What's your favorite answer in an RPG? What are you talking about?
You are in the dialogue, and the game is like, "Hey, player, would you like to respond to what was just said?" And the answer is yes and yes.
Uh-huh.
Do you know
Are
what
you talking about the Gosetsu line?
No. I'm
Okay,
talking
I had
about,
an issue with that.
we'll get to that, but I'm talking about when Alfino is like announcing that he wants to leave, and your responses are, "You go." That's the responses.
Yeah.
You get no choice in the matter.
Uh-huh.
You can't even voice your concern. You get nothing to say. You just get to say yes or yes.
So wrapping up this side of the story,
Okay.
If, I was concerned about them not incorporating Kosetsu in any way, because Kosetsu was not a part of the main of the fight, even though it feels like he was meant to be a part of the story
hold on.
because of how invested he was
Hold
with
on.
Azula. And then suddenly at the very end, they drag him out of the hospital. He's
I was
coming out in
like-
his infirmary gown.
I
Like
was
what?
what
Like why is he
doing
here?
here?
Yeah.
Like
It made no sense.
regardless of his like relation to Yotsu, this is a place that we deemed dangerous, and he's like hurt and stuff, and he was not part of this operation. So why did they ferry him here?
Yeah. Like him being there, it screamed that like whoever was writing this was like, oh yeah, remember Kosetsu? Like he's kind of important to this character that we're killing off right now, and that we're not going to use ever again. So we kind of need to like insert him here, and that was like another one of those like immersion breaking moments where like they're just injecting this character into the scene, even though it makes no sense for them to be there because they want to do something with the character and this character moment. And they miss the opportunity to use him or set up the fact that he would be here.
Here's the thing. I know that they clearly didn't want to do this, but what would be a better scene in this case will be that Kosetsu does not appear here. We just, proceed with whatever is happening.
Take her body back?
We could. I would even say like, it could be nice to take her body, but like even if we don't, assuming we don't, that like whatever is happening here, like they clean it up, whatever. But we go back to Doma after the events, and we go tell Gosetsu what happened, and like as we're telling him, like he still like has the persimmon like on the table because she only just like brought it.
Yeah.
And like we tell her that in her last words she was hoping that he will like enjoy this persimmon, and then have him like realize what has happened, basically, kind of thing.
You can write a really nice dramatic scene there where we go back, because I feel like we got to go back and tell people anyway, because I feel like the Domin people deserve to know that like that she's dead as well, right? Like specifically the people in the village, right, when they saw her and they wanted to kill her, and they were shocked to even see that she was even alive, right?
Yeah, that's why I said that
being
like
kept
for
a
that
secret.
purpose, maybe it would be good to have her body, and maybe like make some ceremonial, I don't know, like funeral or something, so people could see that she's dead. But I think specifically for the scene with Gosetsu, I think Yotsu's body wasn't necessary, and you could have scene where like you tell him what happened and have him react to it.
Well, you can even have him not say anything. You can even have him just stay silent and just sit there with the persimmon, and then like pan out from that or something.
No,
like
I
there's some.
I think the scene of him crying was fine. It's just that like it shouldn't
No,
happen here.
Yeah, I agree. Like the scene that they had, what they were trying to portray with the character of Gosetsu here, didn't need him to be here. The fact that they did so tells me that they again, you get the feeling they just want to wrap it up. they just want
That's what I'm saying, that it felt like they wanted to
just-
finish that scene immediately, that they didn't have a time to move to another location.
Exactly. They just want to move on. They just want to move. They just want to get the hell out of here, which is crazy. Like it's just that's the feeling you get. This they just want to move on. They're like we dislike like Azula and Zuko, and we don't like any of what who was writing this. Like they just want to move on. Like it's crazy.
I would say it would be like a cinematic, like a voiced cinematic worthy scene of having like Azula's funeral.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I agree.
for
I think
the
that would have been
people,
really
it
powerful.
would be like it would be this weird cinematic where like you would know like everything that happened, but for the people this would almost be a celebration because she's dead.
Yeah, I was about to say that it would be pretty celebratory, which is a really nice motif to have, where you have like, I mean, the problem is that we don't like I did not even feel bad for like Zuko like kicking or shooting Azula. Like that was another weird thing very quickly is that this is another scene where it would have been better if the prisoners were present, because we had no reason to dislike. I had no reason to dislike Zuko, like in that moment, like where I think where he's like, what are you gonna do, like fight me or stop me from enacting like my evil deeds? And it's like, you haven't done anything. Like I don't like, but if the prisoners were there,
like not enough for me to like attack him.
That's
like, it doesn't
exactly.
make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That if there were people there that we actually cared for, that we actually feared for their well-being, then there'd be more tension to the scene, and there's more reason for the character itself to be upset. But like they didn't do that. Like it was just, yeah, it was again, a weird decision made. It was forcing to try to like make you dislike the character.
I mean, as much as Azula was a bad person, like I don't think he should be like venting on a body, but like still, like again, I didn't feel as enraged as they made it look like, because again, from my perspective, like especially because of the Echo, because I could see a lot into his past as well. That like to me it seems like basically like this kid that's like been groomed to be a certain thing, and like it's kind of like the fault of his environment more than like his own like personality, if you get what I mean. Where like I pity that this is the world he had to grow up in, because that's what it made him. But like that's the thing. Every time they showed Zuko, like all I could see was a kid really trying to like get someone's appreciation and acknowledgement.
Yeah. But I guess so winding it back, that's why like when in this idea that we have of them having like a procession for Azula's death, and for it being like a celebratory thing, the idea of like us knowing a little bit more to it, like I don't know if we'd be very sad, like as in, because it'd be different if she died like the innocent version of herself. Like that would elicit a different reaction, because then we would know that, oh, she died, everyone's celebrating, everyone's happy that she's dead, but we know that in her last moments, like, she wasn't that same person, but we know that in her last moments she was that same person. So it's like, so I feel no, I don't feel any kind of sorrow for her dying. Like it would be like a good thing. It would be different if they hadn't made her turn.
But that's why I kind of go back to the fact that like it would be more interesting if she was brought to the exchange like by the Domans, and then like she had this relic in her possession, because he gave it to her beforehand, like she had it for a while, and they would just like trigger like basically Zuko would just trigger her instead of her doing it knowingly.
Yeah.
So like she would still become primal, but it wouldn't be like, oh, she just came here with that intention.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. Like the problem is that they made her go full like mask off, like just so you feel nothing for her. Like she and they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go all the way with that. Like they could have done so much more with that character as well, despite the fact that we dislike the character. Like there's something that could have been a little bit more interesting. Like as I said, like I feel like turning into a primal was like the worst way to deal with that character. I think she's more interesting like as a regular human antagonist sort of thing.
The problem with her being a regular human antagonist is that in the whole expansion they established that she never fights. So
Yeah,
she
but
just,
they
so
also
she
failed
doesn't
in that
have
as
she
well.
doesn't have like the battle skills, and she's not very smart. So like, what does she have that is like dangerous? Because the only thing she had in the expansion was power that was given to her. Like, she didn't have
Yeah.
anything intimidating on her own.
Yeah. But that was also a big criticism. If you remember, I wanted her to be a fighter. Like, I wanted her to do things herself.
Yeah,
Like, I wanted,
yeah, but they didn't do it. That's
yeah.
why I'm saying that, like,
They didn't,
there,
yeah.
there is no other way. Like, the only thing you can do with her is give her more power, because she doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
anything threatening on her own.
Well, the only other thing would be that she just leads the Garlean people in that moment, and she orders them to like kill us, or again, like she would have ordered like the death of the prisoners and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
you can still have
that's
her
what I
like do
expected.
things
That's
like
what I
that,
expected, that she would
yeah,
like
yeah.
mess with the prisoners somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not what happened.
Nah. Nah.
So, also,
Also,
what
this is
did you
our-
pick in the cinematics? Because I think you picked differently than me, funnily enough.
I didn't like the options that we had for her death. I think there were two options, right? It was one was like
Gosetsu
would mourn you,
or Tsuyu deserve
and
better.
yeah, and I didn't. I think it took me like 5 minutes to pick an answer. Like
I think
because I was like, I didn't like
because
any
you
of
were
these.
so behind me.
Yeah. Like I did not like any of the answers there, because I mean, I ended up picking Gosetsu would mourn you, but like that isn't true, and she even corrects you. Like, she's like, oh, maybe he'd mourn Tsuyu, right? Like, she even says that herself, which is true. Which is why like I didn't like that answer, because the reality is that he shouldn't mourn her. He shouldn't care for her, because she isn't. Because like, again, there's so much fucked up stuff in this
But that's
story.
the thing.
Like, he shouldn't mourn her. He shouldn't care for her, because he doesn't care about her. He cares about the brain damaged version of her who's more innocent and
I
is
mean,
not her at all. It's like a different human
You
being.
say
Like,
that. You say that, but if you remember back in Stormblood proper, he did know more about her personally than any other character did, and we never got that explained.
well, this is why when you're telling a story, and if that's true, and if he had more leniency towards her pre like losing memory, then you do that. Then you have her. What you would do is you would have her regain her memory, and then you have a scene where he's like forgiving of her, even if she's her old self again, and he wants better for her, and he wants her to improve as a person. And you know what? You can even go as far as to be like, you know what you do, right? In a more dramatic story, in a more dramatic setting, is that when she regains her memories, he's with her, have her kill her parents, and instead of her brother finding her, Gosetsu finds her, and he's like, hey, it's okay, I'll lie for you. No one else needs to know that you're old self.
wouldn't lie.
You can live a new life. You can live a new life. You can live a new life.
He wouldn't
you
lie.
can like maybe he'll just admit, I don't know, but like show that he's willing to care for her, even if she's who she is, right? Even if she's like the murderous person. Like show that he's, if you're doing that, then then maybe he'll mourn for her. But otherwise, like I don't have any reason to believe that would be the case. Because we still don't know as to why he attached himself so much to her to begin with. Like, outside
No,
of the
that's
fact
why I'm
that he
saying that,
wanted
like, we
more for
never
her.
got it explained why he would like know more about her than average person. Like, I thought that
Yeah.
that would be an interesting way to explore, especially because they said that Gosetsu for a while was serving the Empire as well. So it would make
Yeah.
sense for us to find out what was their connection, but that was never
Yeah, but they
explained.
didn't. They
Maybe
didn't do
it will
anything
be
with it.
now, but we'll see.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with it. They didn't give any explanation. Now it's too late. Now she's dead.
I mean, true, but after the fact, they may do that. But what I was gonna say, I actually chose the other answer.
What was the other answer again? Oh, right. It was
Tsuyu deserved better,
Tsuyu
because
deserved
that was better. That's why, like you didn't deserve better, but Tsuyu did. Like you could have that life, but you chose to go this path, basically.
Yeah.
And her response was that it was not meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
That was the response.
But like the thing is, like that's why it would have been so much better if what you do, if you really want Gosetsu to be here, you write it so that he needs to confront her post return of memory. If you so after she kills her parents, if you don't want him to say that he'd lie for her or whatever, but have him be there and have him try to, like, you know, he's like the light side, you know, trying to pull her back to like sanity, right? Where he's like, hey, like we can get through this, Like you don't, you can still live a normal life. You can still, be redeemed or whatever he wants as
I
a
wouldn't-
person. Have her reject that, and then have him like come here to like confront her or something. Like have him be here naturally instead of whatever they
even
do
if they
instead.
said that like we're like when they escaped they were like Gosetsu heard that Yotsuru was here and like he insisted on coming or
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
And he's like big enough to force themselves.
But like
himself.
no, but I would say ahead of time. Like he needs, like I would say it's more powerful if he is wanting to forgive her despite her like being a monster. Like that's more powerful and that means more than him looking after
I would-
her when she's like a brain damaged child.
See, I would
Like,
I would say because you say like forgive her, I would say it would make more sense if he went kinda the auspicious route where he's like she's too much to be released like in the public, but he also knows that there is a good part to her, so he will like put it on himself that he will get like basically imprisoned with her so she can live a life like secluded, like isolated from people, but like she can live her like days basically on like a farm or something instead of her just being killed on the spot.
No, yeah, sure, but have that scene, like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that scene is important. I feel like that scene is important for the character, for Gosetsu, and for Azula as well. Like I feel like that would have been it, and to have her reject that, right? To have her make the decision, make the choice to like reject that, and to do what happens here, and then still have him like come and try to talk her down, but like maybe be too late or maybe see her or whatever. But like I feel like that was necessary because I did not like him crying because it felt like a lie. Like it felt like he was like again, that would make sense if she hadn't gotten her memory back. But because she was back to being a monster and back to being like a cruel person, like I don't know
Like,
if she
I agree,
deserved
it's weird
that.
for him to get
Like, it
attached
felt-
to her, to like specifically
Yes.
her version after the fact and not her as a person in general.
Exactly. Like it doesn't. It just because he wasn't connected to her, as far as we know. Because I know that you're trying to say, but like, there were like a couple of lines where he felt like
I'm
he
not
was like
trying
a
to
little
say.
bit more
I'm just saying that
understanding
like
of
there
her
were
position.
some lines that we thought were interesting, but they were never explored.
Yeah, but so I want to like remove all that because clearly like they never explored it, so that doesn't matter. What matters is like the interactions that we did see, and again, like because he never formed an attachment with her as a person, it feels wrong for him to cry in that moment. I guess, especially yeah, because he knew that she had gotten her memories back. Like, it feels wrong. Like it feels undeserved. It feels like he was crying for someone that wasn't there, and maybe that's why he's crying. Like you can like write that.
Yeah, it's like
You
I
can
feel
write-
like it's more like that like it's
you-
like
you-
more
you
mourning
can-
what
you
could
can,
have
like-
been and not so much the
No,
person.
the problem is I think that's too smart for the writers. I think they did not make that decision. Unironically, I think you can write it so that it's more meaningful and that it makes sense that he's not crying for her. He's crying for for who she could have been,
Yes,
which is like a
yes.
brain damaged child. You can write that. I don't think that's true though. Like I think that the writers just made it so that he was crying for her and he was sad about her death, like Azula. I have no confidence in the writing team to have any kind of anything deeper than that, unfortunately. Based on what we've seen here.
Yeah. I still think that the persimmon scene would be better.
It would be.
Because, like, regardless of what his reaction is, like, there was no reason for him to be here.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? In that situation, it would actually make more sense for him to cry, because her talking about him like positively means that like she remembers what she did and she doesn't like regret it. Because originally she was like upset that he was like being nice to her and stuff, despite who she is. But like at her final moment, she was like okay with that, and she actually like wished him well, basically. So I feel like in that moment, where like when we tell him that those were her last words, I feel like that's when like he breaks down.
That's what I mean. Like you're because then you're informing the character that there was something more there, right?
Yeah, that it wasn't just
then there's
her
more
being
reason.
like disabled. That like actually like she knew what she was doing. You know, she was like
yeah,
aware.
then there's more reason to mourn. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there needs to be something more there to justify the crying, to justify his reaction. Like I'm very unsatisfied with how they portrayed. Like it was undeserving. I feel it was just undeserved. But yeah, so this is the first showing of Xenos frontal for the first time. As in, before this, if you remember, they kept telling us, but we'd never seen Xenos. So there was, they could have always played with the idea that it was like propaganda, that they were saying that it was alive, but he wasn't actually alive.
I don't think
So,
it
like-
would be though, because like we like it would make sense if it was propaganda in public, but why would there be an imposter like in the bed, you know?
Yeah, but here like we got confirmation of that. Do you think because when it comes to over explaining, they did the line here where they over explain and they're like I think they implied that they had his remains, right? Like where they were talking about how like it was documented and written down in record, like his
I don't like how they said it, by the way. Because they're like, oh, because this is like public knowledge. I'm like, that doesn't matter what kind of knowledge it is. You saw it with your own eyes. That's better knowledge than public knowledge, no?
Yeah. I think because that line though, because it implies that maybe like they even held his body or even still have his body.
Yeah, that like maybe they examined it or something.
No, but like I think that implies that maybe because he merged himself with Shinru, is he just a primal now?
I said that.
Like,
I said that before.
Yeah,
That like the only way I see from it happening is because he was primal. Like his body just became ether, and they were just able to like recapture it, but back in Guardian.
The thing is that if that's the case, then technically that means he should never die. Like unless we do the same thing we did with the Ashians, where like you construct like the Orosite like blade thingy, and you kill like something like that.
Yeah,
But like
probably.
technically, if he's now a primal, like he can always be wished back.
Technically, yeah. I mean,
Which
it's
means they can
possible.
just keep killing him if they want to. They can just keep killing him and bringing him back.
I mean, again, that's the only way I see of him returning right now, unless there are two other options. Option number one, Eorzean forces are extremely incompetent, and there was actually a guy who snuck out his remains and they were able to revive him. And also somehow he wasn't dead, despite everybody claiming so. And option number two is that it is in fact an imposter.
I feel like an imposter would be weird. That'd be weird. I don't know. Like it'd be it'd just be weird. But yeah, I don't know. Did anything else happen? A lot happened. It was a long cutscene.
Well, after the Gosetsu scene, we talked to Maxima.
Yeah, we spoke about that, about how they wanted to excise the younger brother completely and get rid of that part of the story to still leave it open that apparently they still want the Guardian Empire to be open diplomatically to negotiations with Doma. Like they still wanted to keep that aspect of the story while still removing.
Which again, I feel like the better
Zuko.
story would be if Zuko was genuine and he was actually part of that movement.
Yeah.
Especially since it would make sense considering that Doma is where he comes from. Like it would be
Yeah.
a neat story where, like, you know, again, we have talked about this before, but basically this would be like a story related to Fordola. You know, how Fordola decided to work with the Empire because that's her idea of, like, you know, giving peace to the Alamigans. Obviously, there were problems with that, but like I was saying, this was the idea that like she wants to give peace to Alamigans by, you know, making them part of the Empire, so they are proper Garlean citizens. And it would mirror here with Asahi, where like, you know, he was raised as an Imperial, but you know he wants to bring the peace to Doma by making them part of the Empire, essentially. That would make sense, and it would be an interesting story to see, like, you know, the different ideas and stuff and what happens with
Yeah,
them.
the problem is, and I do think that initially that was the plan, but the problem is that like I feel like that would require multiple patches, and I think that the plan was for it to be multiple patches, and then halfway through they decided not to. They decided like we're going to commit to this Xenos idea, and we're going to be working with this instead, and there was just a conflict of ideas when it came to whoever was deciding where the story was going to go. Yeah, it's a shame. I thought there was something else that happened that I wanted to comment on. All right, Afino.
Can we talk about my boy Alfino?
Afino. Can we talk about the idea of he was like, oh, you know, like how better than to like, you know, I don't know, to make use of his like his diplomatic prowess and then to be, you know, with the Empire to be able to interact with them. The entire time I was like, did everyone just forget? Did the writers just forget? I mean, clearly they did. Remember how Kugane was meant to have an Imperial embassy? Remember that? Remember how there was meant. Remember when they introduced that during the MSQ early on, and we were like, oh, okay, I guess that's where Afino's going to be.
Yeah, that's
because
cool.
apparently there are a bunch of embassies
can do,
of like different
diplomacy,
nations
right?
here. Yeah, and I guess that like opens up like the potential to like have these like negotiation like meetings and then have these like interactions and stuff in Kugane, because that was the point of the city, and nothing was ever done with it. And even here you can use it, and they're like, nah, we're just gonna go to the Empire instead of
Straight to the capital.
using the fact that, I guess, what? Like this makes like it makes no sense considering the fact that they introduced the idea that with the fact that there was specifically an Imperial embassy in Kugane, and they're just not using it.
And
that's the point of the embassy.
Was the neutral ground.
Yeah, that's the point of the embassy, is that you have a representative of your nation there for diplomatic purposes. Use it. We're just not using it at all. Period. Did we just forget?
Like, what makes Alfino think that he would be able to speak in, like, you know, the Gallian Senate or whatever they have?
Yeah, nothing. Like, there's no. The issue here is that like there's no, especially because we were just quote unquote like double crossed, or like clearly like there was like bad faith involved when it comes to the negotiations that were trying to be done here between ourselves and the Gallian Empire. For what we know, like it was their full intention. Like we don't know that. Like I mean, I guess that's the point of the Echo. Like that, yeah. That's why they had to insert that Echo flashback scene, and that's probably why they did it after the fact, because that tells us that it wasn't Garlean. Yes, exactly. Like that's why they had to insert that.
That's why we saw exactly who gave the order, and it wasn't just any person; it was specifically Xenos.
Yeah. Otherwise, story-wise, we would have to object to Afino going. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. Because the flashback was very weird with the context, but that
it was,
makes
but
sense
like,
why it's
yeah.
there.
Yeah, they had to.
But nonetheless, like from what I understand, like the Populous, whatever they're called, like they're not a main faction. They're like a smaller faction that are like trying to convince people, and I just don't know if they have the means to like give him like place to speak,
protection,
or even protect him. Like I was gonna say more in the context of like, because Alfino's like, oh, I can like appeal to the people, you know, in like their politics and stuff. But like I don't know if they would like let you speak in the first place. Not even mentioning the fact that like they won't be able to protect you.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of the embassy, right? Like that's the point. That's what they use for, right? So you can speak to someone who speaks for the nation, speaks to the people, like in a more comfortable setting, in a more neutral ground, as you said, because Kugane is meant to be neutral. So you're meant to feel safe there because like no one has the advantage. Remember that? Remember the whole setup that they had there that they literally are not using at all, even though
Yeah,
there's
and
room
how
for it here.
Alphino stayed there for months watching the Galleons.
Yeah.
And not much came out of that. But also, I am just so upset about how Alphino's like, oh, so I'm gonna go, and your response is yes, you go or you go, and like, how about either I say no, but again, they don't want me to say that, but at least I think what I should have said with all the context of the story, that Alfie can go, but only if he has a bodyguard. He has been stabbed, okay, before.
Sure.
He's going to enemy territory on his own. Like even Asahi, who you know, who wasn't in danger of harm, he had his people with him at all times. Why is Alfino going alone?
Do you think anything's gonna come of that? Do you think
Yes.
in my mind, it's so messy. So first things first, because they're wrapping everything up right now, there's literally they can take the story in whatever direction they want, right? They just completely just like they wrapped it up, wrapped it all up.
Yeah,
So
they
can
removed,
do
like,
whatever they
again,
want
as
with
I
the
said,
story.
they removed the problematic characters and they can just go wherever they want.
Yeah, unfortunately, so they just wiped the slate clean. In my mind, the only reason why you would want to send Alphino to the Empire is to remove that character from the story that's being told. If you remember, they already did this a couple of times, but they didn't do it well enough. If you remember, like they started Stormblood by removing Alphino, and that's why we had the perception that like, oh, maybe it's LSA's expansion, but then they brought him back anyway. Like they still inserted that lasted only a couple of quests before like they reintroduced him, which was kind of weird that they had done that. But it feels like they're gonna do it again here, like mechanically wise. Like the reason why you would send a character away is because you don't want them to be a part of what comes next, to give attention to other characters. But I don't know where the story's gonna take us here, so I don't. Yeah, it's hard to say. But that's the impression I'm getting, is that they want to remove the character for now, for whatever comes next in the story.
I don't know, but he better not get stabbed. Like again, I think it's ridiculous to send him on his own.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like we should be his bodyguard, but he may be like, oh no, but you know, like Warrior of Light is like too well known, they will think it's hostile. And like maybe I could concede to that, but like he still should be going along.
Look, it's either that or you put him in the hospital, and then he can join Ishtola and.
True.
And
I mean,
cry
hey,
out.
Alice came out.
She's the only one that recovered from the coma. Everyone else is still in the
Yes,
coma.
Alice is the only one who recovered from the hospital.
Yes, everyone else is still in there.
I think we missed. Oh yeah, I think
During all this, Light has been running non-stop. Locker has just been lying on the floor.
Yes.
You lying on the floor?
I was lying on the floor.
Okay, no, I'm doing laps.
Now I'm reading a book.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, you also
Pretty good, that's the
picked a different thingy for Maxima's question.
I don't remember what he said. What did he say?
You told him that it was Zeno's orders, and meanwhile I told him that I saw Asahi's past.
Huh. Yeah.
Because my justification was like, if I tell him it was Xenos who did it, like, then what proof do I have for this? But on the other hand, Guardians know of existence of Echo, so they would know that is a thing that can happen. So that was my justification.
Yeah. For me, they're bringing Zetsu to see Zetsu was last time was great. I wanted to see the closure of him and getting to say his farewell to Tsuyu. As I mentioned, like I don't know if the writers have the. I don't know if that was their intent. Because I agree that like him being sad for something that never was, I guess I can get behind that, but like I don't think he would
again,
mourn her death necessarily just because they made her have the full turn, right? Like,
yeah.
so like I don't think she's deserving of that.
But that's the thing. Like again, that's why I say that like it would make sense if he like either like wherever the scene is, because again I think he shouldn't be here. But even if he's here, it would make sense if he's just like quiet, like just knowing that like she's dead, and like he has like basically no reaction because he knew that this was probably gonna happen. But then we tell him what her last words were, and that's what breaks him. That specifically, not the fact that she's dead, but the fact that like in her last moments, like she had that awareness.
Dude, I wanted to get the hell out of here too. I was just playing this part aside from Suyo and Kosetsu's story because that was the only thing I really liked here. I mean, I think you were gone at the time that we were explaining it, Soko, but for me it was very apparent that they had a certain idea and a certain plan for the story and a certain direction for the story. Then when they decided to change that direction and decided to try to wrap this up, they intentionally wrote a poor story to be able to wrap it up as quickly as possible,
like
without needing to continue everything. Yes.
Just
well, no, not even. No.
I mean,
I would push
rushed.
back against that. Not just rush, but like we spoke about it. We spoke about the idea of like
closing the story,
writing.
basically.
We spoke about the idea of writing Zuko like the worst way possible, so then they could kill him off as quickly as possible. So then you could just move on from that. Whereas that was never the intention of the character, but they felt the need to write him in such a way that you can just get rid of him, right? And there'd be no issue with that. Like that felt intentional just because they wanted to move on from that story that they were initially telling.
Because it didn't feel like. It didn't feel
feel
like
natural.
that's something that would happen. It felt like very sudden, like a sudden change.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, who are we talking to?
Let's see. Can I speak to you, Giddy?
Kosetsu dragged himself here from his sickbed, only to be greeted by the sight of Yotsuyu's corpse. I had not the words to comfort him.
Let's say.
Alfino, you impulsive fool. I thought about trying to talk him out of it, but I know what I would say. If the roles were reversed. Stubbornness is something of a family trait.
Yeah. I knew Asahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning. Thank the Kami you were here. You were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yotsuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, aye, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. 'Tis little wonder Kosetsu departed in silence.
I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest. But the vessel yet waits at the riverbank for those who did not flee in time.
And then I suggest we put this doleful place behind us, and make for the Enclave together. It would be a shame to miss the joyous reunion. Are we going to have the parade scene?
You see?
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
Ah, there you are.
Gosetsu, your hair. My friend, what have you done?
An old man who cannot raise his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
All right, true. Hold on. La copa. Ah.
What's up?
What's up? What do you think? No shot. This is very apt. there is nothing in the brain. There's just nothing there. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Look at those empty eyes.
Oh no. What's up, Copa? What's up?
No, I don't think it was that bad. I just
It wasn't
think
that bad.
I just think it was a missed opportunity to call to actual cultural thing in, I believe, Japan, where if somebody is ashamed of what they've done, they shave their head. Like that's just a thing.
Yeah,
because like having hair is considered like the good thing. So you know when you made a mistake, you shave your head as like a way to repent, kinda. And that's a cultural thing. So I found it unnecessary that they said he would become a monk, and I wonder if that's a localization thing because the Western audience wouldn't know the context.
Maybe. Like I don't think it was made clear as to the reasoning as to why he is making this decision. And I think it's important to hammer home what is happening here, because I don't even know like what the rationale is, right?
Yeah, he doesn't say.
Like I don't think I like it. I don't like the trajectory of the character that they've decided here, because I feel like it feels really weird. It feels really almost out of touch. Like I think he even said it himself. He's like, good luck rebuilding Doma. Like this is your home nation. Like I feel like it's important that he's a part of this. I feel like it's important that he's there as like Hien's like trusted advisor.
Yes.
Like it feels wrong. Like it feels
So-
obviously he said himself that it was selfish, but it feels more than that. It feels almost like, I don't know, it feels like irresponsible or like disrespectful, or like there's so many like emotions.
But like just ignorant of what is happening and what he would be used for. But I think so. Here's the thing.
Like,
here's the thing. My interpretation of this cutscene. Again, this is interpretation. This is not the writing story that isn't there. This is just interpretation.
This is your fan fiction, okay? Your fan fiction.
No.
Okay,
I will get to fan fiction. This is just the interpretation.
Okay.
Is that he doesn't say that directly, but this is his way of mourning, and that's why he doesn't want to be here, because he knows that other people don't accept that, so he wants to mourn himself, and that's like his way to mourn is to just travel, you know. And also he doesn't want to be a bother because people have to take care of him. So that's like the interpretation. Now for the fan fiction, this is where you circle back to the fact that shaving the head is a sign of shame.
Yep.
And
Yes.
and he is like, wait, Gosetsu, but like I would need like a trusted advisor like in rebuilding the country. It's like, you saw what my advice has done. Like I am not fit to be an advisor. And then he leaves.
That would be fire, by the way. Like I like the fan fiction. I like the idea of
But like
because it's reflecting on his mistakes, reflecting on his treatment of Azula, of everything that happened.
Like he acknowledges that like his like emotions can cloud his judgment, and that even though he meant well, like in the end it actually became worse for Doma than it could have been. So I think that should be like Gosetsu's like honor talk, where it's like, you know what, like the way I wanted to do things didn't work, so I don't think I should be an advisor, and that's where he lives on a pilgrimage.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the message that the writers are trying to portray. I felt the same way about, and this is also why like I was pushing back against Gosetsu's crying scene, because you're right. You can write it in such a way where he is writing not for Azula, because Azula doesn't deserve his tears, but for what could have been. And and for this other
But the
like,
fact that there was
that,
something in her other than, you know.
Yeah. But like I don't believe that the writers intended that. Same here. Like I agree that the idea of him having all this shame because of what's happened, I like that idea. It makes sense considering how we feel about the character and the story that's taking place.
And he is always like extra honorable. Like he is like the honorable guy.
Yes, but I don't get the impression that that's what they're trying to portray here in this cutscene. I don't get the impression that he's ashamed of what he did and the events that took place. I don't get that vibe that that's kind of what they're trying to say. It feels more like I'm pretty sure, especially with Hien's comment about like helping everyone, it feels like he just wants to go out and help people on a more individual level, because that's what he tried to do with Azula, and he also wants to do so not just with Dolmens but maybe with Garleans and not necessarily discriminate and help people as a whole, not just help Dolmen people. Like I'm pretty sure that's kind of the vibe and the narrative that they're trying to tell here, which I think is a very weak narrative. That's why I said that like it feels very irresponsible, the idea of him wanting to go out and help people. Like I understand that like there's some, I guess, some honor in that or some nobility in that, but like the idea that like his nation is like destroyed and like recovering, and how Hien's doing the best he can to bring his people back together, and the idea that Gosetsu was a big part of that and should be a big part of that and is important to Hien, like it feels weird that he's choosing to leave and to go on his own kind of journey while this is still happening. Like it feels weird for that to happen. And again, I don't get the impression that they want you to think that Gosetsu feels shame in what's happening here. Even though I do think that would be a better story to tell. Like I don't get that. I don't get that impression.
There's also the other thing where they kind of referred to it earlier, like in the earlier scenes, how Gosetsu feels like he's a hindrance because he's old. So like he basically wants to remove himself because he doesn't want other people to take care of him. So I feel like that's part of it. That like it's not so much that like he doesn't.
That's also misguided.
But like that, like he doesn't want to be taken care of. He doesn't want to be a hindrance because of his age. So he like
but that's also like again that's also misguided. That's also like a character flaw, and that's why I don't like the and I don't like necessarily that idea that he thinks that he's useless, or he thinks that he can't help Hien, when it's reality he can. Like there's more that he provides than just like something physical, right? He provides something that like
but
wisdom
he doesn't feel like he thinks he's a warrior. So if he cannot hold the blade, then he's useless.
But I don't get that necessarily. I don't get that vibe from.
I think that's exactly what he said.
I know that's what he said. But I don't know if that's the message you're meant to comprehend necessarily. Like the idea that he feels. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense, because you're saying that he feels useless. That's why he wants to leave. But he said himself that he wants to help other people. So clearly he feels like he can provide some value to other people out there.
He said he will pray for other people. That he will be a walking monk and he will just pray for other people.
You get the impression he's gonna do more than just pray.
That's what he said.
He's not gonna go out there and give hopes and dreams to people. Like
He's literally going to go hopes and dreams to people. That's what's happening.
Like even here, like Soko's response, I do want to wish him the best here. I think he deserves his rest. That's why like I don't get the impression that he feels shame for the events for these most recent events, right? Like I think the common takeaway from this that people have, like the regular player, probably doesn't get that message. I do think you can interpret it here, but I don't know if that's what they're getting. Maybe the writers watched Pulp Fiction and he got the Jules arc. He just wants to just wanting to walk the earth. True. No. So yeah, I think I would agree. I would agree with your idea. I think that would have been a much better kind of ending for the character if they had like hammered that point home.
Because it's not
I don't think that's what
it can even be that like not that like oh he thinks it was wrong to like take care of Yotsu when he did. It's more that like what the consequences were not good. Like he meant good, he wanted to do good, but like the consequences were what they were. So he doesn't think he can actually like he's afraid of making the same mistakes in the future.
Yeah, he's afraid of like advising. If his advice leads to this, then like what good is his like advice and wisdom and his like again his words, right? Yeah.
Again, I'm curious to know like what was this dialogue in original, like before being localized, because it might have been slightly different. Because again, like to me when I saw the shaved head, like knowing that culture reference, that was pretty obvious. But they specifically said, "Oh, I'm gonna become a monk." So like that like signifies to me that it's very likely that it's a localization thing. So maybe he said something else in original.
So here's a better question actually. Now that because I would not be surprised if like that's the last we see of this character for quite some time.
I mean, I think we'll see him again, just not soon.
No, yeah. No, that's why they're doing it, obviously.
Yeah.
Like that's why they're doing it. This is like them saying, "Hey, we're gonna bring him back like in a future expansion, maybe." Like we're leaving it open. Mm-hmm. With what they decide to do with the characters, do you agree with them bringing back Azula and Gosetsu and not having them stay dead? With now knowing what they did with them here in the story. Know what they could have done, because obviously they could have done everything better.
Ask the question again.
Okay, do you think it was a good decision to retcon the death of Azula and Gosetsu, now seeing what they did with the characters?
Considering the plot that they went with.
Yes.
No.
Not what they could have done, but what they did.
Yeah, with what they did, no. With what could have done, what they could have done, yes.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think they
had a good start.
Considering what they've done with the characters, they
had a good start. They had a catch. There were some things that were intriguing, but they didn't lead to what we wanted.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have just died in the MSQ, like, considering what they decided to do with the characters here.
No, I think they should write a better story.
That's the best. Like the best answer is just they should have just had a better story. Yes.
They should have went with they should have went with what was originally like teased there, which is like this story analyzing like people's approach to like her being disabled or maybe not being disabled, like her crimes in the past, to like potential like diplomacy. Like that was interesting. The moment they turn the villain into like this, Sunday cartoon villain of like, haha, I'm evil, that's when it becomes boring. Like that's when you lose my interest.
Yeah. Because they did that with both of them. Like they didn't have to, right? They did that. They did it to both Zuko and Azula again, and they didn't need to do that.
Yes. Arguably, they could even like pull off like conflicted Azula, where like she gets her memory back, but she also like remembers what has happened for the past week or so, and like she's conflicted because for the first time someone is nice to her. Like she's never experienced
that. If you remember that's why I thought she was gonna kill herself. Like that's what I thought. Was remember my initial prediction was that she was gonna kill her parents, then kill her brother, then kill herself. Like that was my initial thoughts on that. And sure, she almost did.
That's what I mean. Like that part would be interesting. Like analyzing the people's reactions to things, people's psychology of things, and kind of how they're processing what is happening. But instead, it's oh, there's this evil guy who will now turn her into primal, and now they're all evil, and now they're dead. You didn't get that interesting part of people processing complicated things.
Yeah. Now, the next big question, which we've still yet to find out, is whether it was worth it bringing Xenos back to life. That's going to be the next big question. Well, was it a good thing that they retconned his death?
My answer is
we're going to
no.
find out.
You know why?
Why?
For the exact same reason as it was not worth it here. Because if you remember, our favorite part about Xenos was his relation with Fordola, and as we know, that doesn't exist anymore.
I like how they tease a potential relationship with him and Zuko, and then they never explored that because they just killed him.
No, I don't think there would be a relationship. Like he's still just an underling. Although it was cute that he knew his name.
I would push back against it. I would say that if they wanted to, they could have done something more there. If they had kept Zuko alive, and if they had kept him from being a comical villain, yeah, exactly. They could have written interactions there.
No, that I agree. If he survived, and if he, as you said, if he didn't become a comical villain but was more of this cunning personality, then no, that I could definitely see him working with Xenos and actually being an interesting story.
Yeah. So for me, I would say the jury is still out on Xenos because we don't know what they're doing with the character yet.
Here's the thing.
So we'll see if they fumble it.
Here's the thing about Xenos, though. Why does Xenos care?
About what?
About Domans. Because their main thing, if you remember, back when we first met Xenos, back in the proper Stormblood not expansion, but the MSQ.
Yeah.
The thing about Xenos was that unlike all the other Garlean leaders we heard about, he was actually not interested in political power. All he cared about was the hunt. He just enjoyed the fighting, the hunt, and the strategizing, but he doesn't care about political power per se. It's convenient to him, but he doesn't care about it. Specifically, the whole reason why Azula was a viceroy was because he didn't want to do it, because he was responsible for Doma. Mm-hmm. So my point is, why would he be the one?
That's also the reason. That's also the reason why Fordola fascinated him, because she was a fighter as well, and because of her position.
Yeah. And that's why I say why would Xenos suddenly care about politics?
So the better question is, Gopa, did the writers did they know? Did they play the MSQ? Do they know that? Do they know that? Do you want me to fax them? Do you want me to fax the Final Fantasy writers and tell them about their own character? Because they might not know.
Maybe ping them
they might not know that
he to check out.
Maybe they remember that he was almost quote unquote honor bound when it came to fighting and collecting samurai swords and all that stuff.
He basically considered all the other nations prey. He's just a hunter.
Inferior. Yeah.
That's why as you said, that's why Fordola was fascinated to him, because he considered him she was actually willing to fight, not just fight back, but she was willing to join him in that as well. So it was that kind of fascination where she's not quite on the same level as the cattle that he's hunting.
Yeah. I really know getting a 5 kilogram sofa to the third floor through a staircase was rough. Oh my god! Be careful, Papi. Be careful. Este ahí están.
Make sure to lift your legs, as they say.
Yes. Make sure to pivot. Yes.
Make sure to stretch as well. That's important.
But it sounds like you got it through, so good job. But take care of yourself, Papi. Take care of yourself. Be careful.
So the real question is, was the sofa made of Legos?
True. Yeah. Good friends to help me. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Well, with that... Ah, you're back.
What? I've been here the whole time.
No, yeah. Didn't you switch your glow sticks to a different color? Am I crazy?
No, you're really crazy. What do you mean? Why would I?
Okay.
Why would I ever do that?
Yeah, you're switching them. Yeah. I noticed. I
was checking which
I
color I
noticed.
like the most. But you know, it's yellow. Yellow is the most appropriate.
Yeah, I think we're going to be wrapping up for today. We'll speak to these people here and hand in the quests next time.
Okay.
But yeah, a little bit shocking. Not gonna lie, a little bit shocking that they decided to wrap up the story here instead of continuing it on into the next patch. Because my assumption was that this was going to be lasting until the end of Stormblood.
Yeah,
but
until the next expansion, right?
Yeah. That's kind of what it felt like, but
To
but
be
looks
fair,
like they
to be fair, they do like have to like start the story of the next expansion at some point. But my like, I would think if Alfino is going to Garlemald anyway, my idea would be that like this would like transition us into whatever is happening with Garlemald, right?
But I think it's too soon though. That's
But
the other thing
what
that I was
that's
thinking.
What I
That's
mean.
why
If they wanted like the expansion to be about Garlemald, then you would have the entire post patch be about like that story, and that would be our way to be introduced to it, rather than ending here and now starting something else.
No, sorry. When I say too soon, like it feels like it's too soon to go to Garlemald when it comes to the greater idea of how many expansions there are. At least in my mind, like it feels wrong for that. That's why I just assumed that that Alfino was just going to go and just be absent from the story until he comes back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
But yeah, I guess we'll see.
We will
See what
indeed.
happens with all my Xenos.
Uh-huh.
Are you calling him Xenos instead of Xenos?
I don't know what his name is. Look,
See what
the way
happens there.
names are read never makes sense anyway.
I think similarly to Gosetsu and with Azula, how they wasted their return. It is concerning. Like the worst thing they can do, I'll say it now. The worst thing they can do is wreck on his death, bring him back, and then kill him in a patch. that would be the worst
thing. I agree.
That would be the worst thing they could do. I would hope that they have learned from this and they're going to
They actually have a plan.
keep him alive. Yeah, they have a plan that they'll keep him alive into future expansions. I would hope that that's what they do with the character. I guess you could argue that's kind of what they did with Gosetsu, because he's marauding and roaming the lands. Like they can always call back to him and bring him back. The problem with that is, I didn't get to say this before, but I didn't buy the idea that he can no longer do any physical activity. Like I feel like they did. I don't think they did a good job at like hammering that home. I would hope that if they ever do bring him back, that they stick to it and they don't have him suddenly, be a warrior again, because that would kind of like take away from everything that's happening here.
No, if he's retired, he should stay retired.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see if he grows his hair again.
Maybe. Or maybe not. See, that's the thing. I was like, this is kind of like reality of like, computer games kind of thing. Where they like show, Yotsuyu, and like they didn't even change her dress. Like this is the same dress she was always wearing. And like, but at the same time, it's like, that's the model for the character. And, they would have to make an entire new model for her to look different.
They let them do it. They can do it. They have to reuse the same asset.
Yeah, but they probably don't want to just for this single sequence. And like her general like image was already like very intense, you know. So they wanted to keep that because people remember the image.
It did feel weird when she showed up in her black and red like garb again.
That was her bulletproof kimono.
That was her bulletproof kimono. That actually, I said the same thing when her brother showed up and shot her twice. I was like, you know that her kimono is bulletproof.
Yeah, you know
right?
that she's wearing bulletproof kimono. That's true. I forgot. That's the one.
God.
But yeah, I would think she would like wear something different, but I guess not. But like again, that's like a nitpick, but like it's kind of like a game thing where like they would have to make a new model for that.
All right, well, with that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Next time we stream Final Fantasy should be towards the end of the week. We should be able to progress the MSQ, and it feels like we're on the cusp of a new like arc of the story, involving most likely Xenos in some way.
Unless this is the last we see of him before like Shadowbringers.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible
we'll
that
see.
like as you said, like they remove Alphino and now we will go to like a different story until Shadowbringers purple.
Yeah. It's disappointing what they did with the story here, what they did with the characters. Again, it does feel like we'll see. Like it feels like they kind of wanted to change the overall direction of the story and the direction of the characters. And we'll see what that kind of leads into. We'll see what they want to do, and if that's any better. I guess we'll see what the Squeenix team decide.
Squeenix.
And yes, the Squeenix team. So they call them, unironically,
Yeah.
Squeenix. God, what else? But yeah, that was disappointing. I think so far, some good stuff that we've seen though is like all the animal stuff. Like that was good. The
Yeah, a lot of side stories are pretty good, like in general.
yeah, the old man turtle. It was good.
True.
And all
And
that.
Soroban being the next turtle now.
Yeah. Like I don't think we had anything negative to say about that. So I think that was handled nicely.
It was silly, but like it was a whole story. Like, see, that's the thing. That's what like. I don't know if I want to say bothers me the most, but like even in the MSQ, I see a lot of like good ideas and good potential, like intriguing details, but they're just not followed up in MSQ for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not like the whole thing is like bad. It's just that for some reason they set something up and then they don't follow it through.
Yeah. I would assume that that's going to get better coming into the next expansion. My assumption is getting into Shadowbringers, and why Shadowbringers and Endwalker are regaled as highly as they are. I would assume that there is better structure, better direction.
Hopefully they
better,
learned from what happened here.
Yeah, and not even just better writing, but more consistent writing. I think that's what we're looking
that's the
for.
thing. Like it's about the consistency, about like how the things should fit together instead of like, well, we just make this excuse so it's here, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. I would assume that that's all going to be tightened up coming to Shadowbringers. Otherwise, like they would not be thought of as highly as they are.
Yeah.
That's my assumption coming into them. But yeah, Stormblood has been crazy.
Yeah, and again, it's a shame because I see some good ideas there, but just they weren't followed through.
Yeah.
And yes, this is one of my
But
favorite emotes now. It's just so.
It's
this is the head empty.
It's good.
It's great.
It's good. Yeah, it is. It is the empty head emote. It's good, 100%.
Like
That's also why I did not.
I'm just.
That's also why I did not. It did not fit how he got it. How this is meant to be a concert emote. It does not fit at all. But
it should be more intense, right, at the concert. Like
it should be.
It should
be.
Ones.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where's my emotes?
Yeah, like that's more.
This
involved.
should be like part of it.
Yes.
But instead, we
100%.
can vibe. It's vibing.
Instead, there's just.
This
there's
is
just
a
empty
vibing emo.
space.
It's like we're like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm here to vibe.
Alright. With that, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We should be back on Friday with our next Final Fantasy stream. Again, we're slowly working through the MSQ. Again, should be back in 2 days. Around 3-ish? Yeah, 3-ish days time. Otherwise, the next stream should be in around 8 hours. 8 hours time should be on our next cast. Should be casting Pegasus Cup number 71. Should be on the Cranky Ducklings. Otherwise, thank you for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.